One last game for the Alberta Bowl. The Notre Dame Pride taking on the Ernest Manning Griffins. It's time for the main event between the number 3 seed and the number 4 seed. Welcome to the announce booth here at the Johnny Bright Bowl. Rob, it's a game that I don't think many were expecting around the province. Last year was Harry Ainley taking down Raymond in the provincial final. A lot of people thought that we were going to get the same matchup this year, but 2 upsets. We'll get to the bracket right away, but 2 teams from Calgary coming into play in Edmonton today in the Alberta Bowl at the 5A level. They just came out of that teacher strike and got hot at the right time.
Yeah, and you need to. Again, all teams across the province had to deal with that little break in action, and it was on players to kind of get together and keep themselves in shape, stay in the weight room, and kind of stay crisp. And then as soon as they got back, they were rolling. It was right into playoffs. It was a tough year for coaches, players, programs alike. But both these teams got it done, and obviously getting here was not an easy journey for either of them. But again, that's why you keep playing and you get through the playoffs, find out who the best when all the chips are on the table, and that's tonight.
So we'll take a look at the bracket and how both teams got here. It was a path that was dominated in the first round. Ernest Manning taking down LCI 31-10. Right above them, you see Harry Ainley 47-7 over the other Notre Dame out in Red Deer. We got a couple of them here in the 5A. Harry Ainley then loses to Ernest Manning 23-20. That game went to overtime. The slimmest of margins. Ernest Manning comes away with the win at the top of the bracket. Ainley was the number 1 seed. They were the favorites coming into the season. They were the favorites going into that game. Ernest Manning playing spoiler. Raymond, ranked number 2, takes down St. Francis, another school out of Calgary, 29-10. Notre Dame takes down Sal out of Sherwood Park, 41-7. A dominant win there, and then a bit of domination against Raymond as well, ranked number 2. Raymond, just a football factory from Southern Alberta. It was an away game as well for Notre Dame. They go in and pretty much dominate, 31-13. So the 3 seed against the 4 seed here in the 5A championship, and you just can't have an expectation going into provincials of exactly who's going to be in this game. You can't have any projections going into the game because, especially with the cold weather and you're deep into November now, anything can happen.
Well, and all these organizations that we've been talking about here going through Alberta Bowl have been here, have done this at one point in time. So they know what it takes to build a program that can win in November. And you've got to be able to do that. We tell our athletes, hey, if you want to be in a championship game, you got to play in some cold weather because it's going to come eventually. Sometimes, some years we get lucky and it's a little bit nicer. But both these teams have done that. And both are coming off huge highs from last week's win, and it's great for both of those teams because right from August, back in August, sunny August, think about that, it was kind of Ainley Raymond. Who's going to be there? Who's going to win it this year? And these guys hung around. They put good seasons together, came out of the South, obviously, and they both made the trip up Highway 2 to Edmonton to duke it out here coming off of big upset wins. And Notre Dame really hasn't been pushed, I would say, to the extreme in the playoffs. They've executed well, and they've got here really riding that offense, scoring a lot of points. And then, of course, Ernest Manning in the tight match against Ainley that you talked about, they've been in a really close match. They've been in that pressure cooker situation. And so they're ready for whatever they have in store for us tonight.
Last time Notre Dame was here was back in 2015. They lost there, but won 3 straight in 14, 13, and 12. Just a dynasty in the early 2010s. They set a whole ton of records here in that championship game. Last time Ernest Manning was here was 2023. They beat Raymond in a tight game, a 4th quarter comeback with a few late touchdowns. Harrison Hindman's going to be quarterbacking this game for Ernest Manning. Going to be a look at 2 very different offenses once again in this game. Rob and I will talk about that after the player intros. For now, we're going to throw to our house announcer. Give these guys their moment.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Ernest Manning Griffins. Wearing number 1, Ethan Witt. Number 2, Brandon Scott. Number 3, Talia Ford. Number 4, Julie Sharon. Number 5, Nina Rodani. Number 6 is Karen Saul. Number 7, Ruth Paragraph. Number 8, Parker Raymond. Number 9, Diego Demonisher. Number 10, Dallin Plymouth. Number 11, Will Slaughter. Number 12 is Harrison Hyman. Number 13, Evan Ludwig. Number 15 is Johnson Daniel. Number 16, Lincoln Hawk. Cody Keaton. Number 25, Lucas Wolfgang. Number 26, Julian Galati. Number 27, Xavier Cindy. Number 28, Colin Forrester. Number 29, Brayden Madison. Number 30 is Stephen Shea. Number 31, Nathan Ottawa. Number 32, Jonathan Safari. Number 33, Ben Katz. Number 34, Lincoln Renoway. Number 35 is Jason Orlick Jr. Number 36, Thomas Alfrancis. Number 38 is Hamza Ahmed. Number 41 is Andy Vexal. Number 32 is Rick Hutton. Number 44, Noah McGugan. Number 45, Preston Pepperski. Number 48, Alex Moroccan. Number 50, Christian Worklow. Number 59, Angus Cunningham. Number 52, Graham Calgary. Number 53, Aiden Sikorsky. Number 54, Matthew Matthews. Number 55, Adam Saka. Number 56 is Lucas Kosanowski. Number 57, Ian Rennie. Number 58, Alexi Gordon. Number 59, Shane Jenkins. Number 60, Anna Bakar. Scoring number 61, Luke O'Brien. Number 62 is Alex Van Number 65, Rocco Champagne. Number 66, Roland DeMoza. Number 80, Jacob Kuchwanger. Number 82, Benjamin Draganovic. Number 88, Trevor Mueller. And line number 92, Jesus Square. Head coach Garth Melrose and the rest of the different staff. Now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Notre Dame Pride. Wearing number 2, Pastor McIndoe. Number 3, Nico Silverest. Number 4, Lucas Scott. Number 5, Justin Rogan. Number 6, Jeffrey O'Day. Number 7, Danny Brown. Wearing number 8, Seth Michael Ayuhoya. Number 9, Sancho Oragua. Number 10, Chris Cox. Number 11, David Kabongo. Number 12, Jaden Alexander St. Louis. Number 13, Daniel Felicia. Number 14, Colin Wise. Number 15, Aiden Moore. Number 16, Alan Medina. Number 18, Eric Nomba. Number 19 is Kurt Sanford. Number 20, Peter Aderini. Number 21, Shane McIndoe. Number 22, Caden Morneau. Number 23 is Shane Figueroa. Number 25, Luke Evans. Number 26, Nathan Ambrosiano. Number 27, Tyler Brown. Number 28 is Cedric Porter. Number 29, John McKee. Wearing number 30, Eric Vittori. Number 31 is Oliver Duke. Number 32, Matthew Abbott. Number 33, Jackson Wolf. Number 34, Salvatore Talarico. Number 35, Blake Fullerton. Wearing number 36, Gabriel Vittori. Number 37, James Pickney. Number 40, Carter Desjardins. Number 41 is Michael Smith. Number 42, Aiden Bamber. Number 34, Miguel M. Doran. Number 47, Katie Shuck. Number 48 is Katie Sambaro Oliva. Number 50, Alejandro Yepe Oliva. Number 51, Lincoln Ryan Aguirre. Number 54, Jaden Briscoe. Number 55 is David Okoro. Number 56, Connor Graham. Number 58 is Brandon Heath. Wearing number 60, David Aguilar Oldavila. Number 61, Lincoln Landguard. Number 62, Darius Cuccinello. Number 64 is Braden Coppin. Number 65, Justin Kozak. Number 66, James Apathy. Number 67 is Nathan Kierman. Number 72, Jacob Kozinski. Number 75, Ronald Okoye. Wearing number 80, Spencer Banks. Number 81, Wyatt Connor. Number 82, Damian Corbartis. Number 83, Matthew Bay. Number 84 is Isaac Mueller. Wearing number 90, Vincent Maroon. Number 91, Aiden Bamber. Number 92, Jalen Witt. Number 93, Gerald Brown. Number 95, Carson Smith. And wearing number 99, Grady Larson. Let's hope David Delucio and the rest of the Notre Dame Pride staff.
Well, 2 underdog wins back in the provincial semifinal, but don't tell that to these two teams. They have believed all year this is exactly where they'd be. National anthem is coming up, and then we'll have kickoff in the 5A provincial championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we respectfully acknowledge that Beaver, Cree, Dene, and Métis people is the original caretakers of these lands and surrounding areas. We are grateful to live, learn, work, and play on treaty lands within Turtle Island, and acknowledge these lands have been home to diverse and sovereign First Nations and Inuit nations since time immemorial. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem.
Well, it's been an extra special provincial championship so far here in Edmonton. All of the Johnny Bright Bowl, we've had a last-second touchdown, we've had a one-point game, but there's still some things that we haven't seen, Rob, and the mind kind of wanders a little bit where this game could go.
Well, and yeah, you never can predict. We've had some great ones. We've had some fourth quarter heroics so far this weekend, and then the two games that kind of had it in the bag going into the last few minutes. But the two that you and I have been able to do have come right down to the wire, and heroic plays on both offense and defensive sides of the ball to get it done. And this script is yet to be written. But you can see the massive rosters, even as we kind of get to the 5A level now. Obviously, the biggest schools in the province, the rosters are just endless, like pro rosters or junior rosters. And so lots of guys. And then looking at the Ernest Manning roster, you can kind of pick out the grade 12s for this year would have played in the championship game 2 years ago. So gaining experience as a young athlete, that could, some of those guys will have that experience. As, of course, the Notre Dame Pride haven't been here for a while, but did have a run and deep in tradition, the run they had in the early 20-teens there. Again, there's probably talk about that in Notre Dame history. So two great programs here, pulling off the upsets last week against the favored teams. And of course, that puts them here in Edmonton playing tonight.
Notre Dame, although a program just a couple of decades old, they are a program rooted in tradition. You saw some of it on the coin toss here, a bunch of the players standing at the 45, the rest at the 50. I believe it might be the starters standing at the 50. Ernest Manning on the other side, they're all pumped up. They won a provincial championship just a couple of years ago in red gear. It's a battle today of two totally different styles of offense. Ernest Manning might be able to get some chunk plays today through the air. Harrison Heineman has been described as not just one of the best quarterbacks in Alberta, but across all of Canada as well. He'll have a future in football somewhere at the post-secondary level. On the Notre Dame side, this is an offense that's going to come out in some formations that you don't often see in 2025. Running backs could get 20, 30 touches a game. They're going to play through their running back, the grade 12 running back, Sarani Brown, for a large bulk of the game today. It's going to be an interesting clash in styles. Can Notre Dame control the clock, and can Ernest Manning take enough trunk plays through the air not to make it matter?
Well, and in a game like today, being played in late November, you tend to give the game or the team that can control the clock and run the ball effectively. That's kind of the narrative around football. If you can run the ball in the playoffs, control the clock, but we kind of saw that flipped upside down in the last game in the 4A championship, where the passing team ended up coming out on top, but it was actually the running team that couldn't get the run game going. We'll see if Ernest Manning, again, with their offense likely going to be on the field after their kick return first, that we'll be able to see that dynamic offense, see if they can get things going. But it did take the last passing team a little bit of time. They got that one drive, and then again they came out late. You talked about chunk plays and the potential for that. It is there, of course. Notre Dame is going to try to wear these guys down, get into the second half in a close game, and just grind something out. So we'll see which game plan is executed better tonight, and of course it's going to be a great one here in Edmonton on a Saturday night.
Well, here we go. Ernest Manning is going to get the ball first. What else do we have in store here in the 5A Provincial Championship? We are underway. Received in the air at the 35, not a lot of room. Taken to the 48. They'll leave way for the Griffins offense led by Harrison Hindman.
Great job early on, catching the ball in the air, not giving up any bounce on the ground, and again, just getting what you can. The other thing that should be said, usually there's like the Grey Cup that's played after this championship Friday and Saturday. Sometimes the Vanier Cup is played on the same day. I'm not sure if there's any football anywhere in the country still being played.
This might be it.
This may be the last game of this fall football season across the country, and a good one we're in for here tonight.
Very modern passing attack from the Griffins. We'll see where they start it. Going to be a quick fake of the handoff. Hindman boots out right. You get a good look at the dual threat ability of Harrison Hindman. A pickup of a couple. We know that Notre Dame's going to have to stay in good position today to keep him from breaking off a big one on the ground.
Well, Notre Dame is a very disciplined team. We heard that from the coaches that, hey, they are disciplined. They're not going to make mistakes, so you need to have a high level of execution, and you have to be disciplined to counter the discipline that Notre Dame has. And of course, both these teams well coached to do their job and do it to perfection.
Lots of talk going on in that Notre Dame defense, making sure they're communicating the play well. Quick swing pass out to the left, going to have to make a man miss. This is Charon out near the sticks. I think he's got a first down.
Yeah, and again, a wide receiver screen. They see the soft coverage by the corner. He's about 8-9 yards off. They just get it out to him in a hurry and let him be an athlete and make a guy miss. Again, takes a couple steps, makes the first guy miss, and it's the linebacker coming out to help him close that gap. But again, third and
just short.
Very short.
Maybe an inch.
The
yardstick is on one side of the hash mark.
Less than the length of the football, I would say.
Yeah,
Here we go.
The line of the scrimmage is on the other. Looks like a wildcat snap here out past midfield. Didn't get a good look at who took that. Was that Cole McInnes, number 18? It was. Out in the wildcat, picks up a couple, more than enough.
Well, it's always interesting. 18, sorry, there it is, 18. There's a good shot. And again, you can see just a different personnel in there. Get the first down, extra lead blockers out in front. When you're a quarterback, or when you're the player playing the quarterback position, in that case a wildcat running back player, you add another personnel into the mix. So you get the extra blockers out in front, and he becomes that running back.
Low snap. Hindman has to chase it down. Picks it up at the 42. Trying to get some yards back, but he's taken down at the 40. It's going to be a loss of at least 15. Big play for the Notre Dame defense.
So just kind of cleaning that up. We've actually seen that be one of the challenges. We've seen some tough snaps, which again I would say is normal in high school football. Young athletes trying to make plays. You add in the elements at this time of year, that's going to happen. Let's see how they respond here with 2nd and 25.
Maybe even a little longer. Going to 26 or 27. Hindman empty backfield. Going to boot out to his right. Hindman keeps the eyes downfield. Now goes towards the boundary. Out at midfield. They'll say they caught it. Will Sladek, one of their top receivers, picks up some of the penalty, or the sack yardage rather, but Still 11 yards away from a first
So
down.
it's good job rolling out, getting his shoulders square as he rolls out this direction, winds and delivers it for the catch. Again, getting 15 or 14 back of the 25 to help with the field position battle in this one. And you can see already they've got two guys currently lined up onside for the punt formation for Ernest Manning.
Keep an eye on those two up at the top of the screen. They'll boot it deep. Got an eye on those two onside players. They're not going to get near it. The returners collide. They're just going to fall on it at the 26. We'll get our first look on the night at the Notre Dame offense led by quarterback Chris Cox and what we believe to be a slew of running backs. They don't have a wide receiver listed on the roster. Of course they have some, but they put everyone down, even the quarterback Cox is a running back.
Well, and we'll have a chance to see, this run game. So you can see them coming out. They got 5 offensive linemen and an extra one playing in the tight end spot. Again, 2 backs in the backfield, true fullback there.
Give it
the
to
ball
the
is
fullback.
on
Ball's
the ground.
on the ground. Ball's on the ground. Pretty muted reaction by the defense. So they don't have the football, but it is a tackle for a loss of 1. See when that ball came out here.
I don't think it ever got in there. It wasn't even on contact. I don't think it ever got a clean exchange from the quarterback. And fortunate for Notre Dame to get on that ball. Again, now they've got extra O linemen, 3 receivers to the left. And again, a packed house inside there with the extra tight end.
They were in the gun for a moment. Now Cox steps under center. First touch of the game for Serrani Brown. Special running back for the Pride. He's able to pick forward to the 32. Pickup of 6. Won't be enough. It'll bring up a third down.
Again, looking at a punt situation here. No risks early. Again, first down, the lack of first down production for Notre Dame with the ball hitting the turf. Fortunate to still have it, but again, that's the thing with the run game. You need to be consistent. You need to churn out yards. Taking big losses, whether it's sacks, holding penalties, those types of things is what takes a run-based offense out of their rhythm. And so something that Notre Dame will want to stay away from tonight, taking those losses.
Punt had to get away quickly. Taken by the Griffins. This is Heaton Yip, one of their most dangerous players, out just across midfield. He's suplexed to the ground. Big tackle for Oreguam, the grade 12 linebacker playing special teams.
Well, of course, we saw the big loss, but the field position battle still in the hands of Ernest Manning, taking over right at center field. So we'll see if this offense can find a little bit of rhythm on this drive.
From the 55-yard line. Seen a lot of Canadian football plays this provincials. I don't think we've seen a Rouge yet. That would be the only one. 55, another aspect of the Canadian game currently. Harrison Heineman at quarterback. Gets his receivers in motion. Sharon out in front blocking. A quick handoff here. And not a lot of room. A pickup of maybe 3. This physical Notre Dame defense getting their feet into the ground.
So a little read option here. You can see number 4 on the inside kind of sliding out into the flat. And so again, the quarterback's able to read. He hands it off, but you can see how open he is there on the replay. They're likely coming back to that at some point soon. So using the receivers into the backfield to help block, to help bring different guys into different spaces on the field.
They'll fake the handoff. Quick look out to the left. Into the slants. They had Timmons open on the slant and just couldn't quite reel it in. Third down, and it looks like special teams is coming out for Ernest Manning.
Well, it's always a little bit harder. Just a quick slant there, and again, he got it delivered to the right spot before the linebacker got there. But again, he just let it go through his hands, off his chest, and down. And that's one of the difficult things when you lean on the passing game late in playoffs when it's cold like this and you run into some cold weather. It is harder to keep your hands warm, and it's harder to catch the ball, especially as the ball cools off over the course of the game.
2 onside players once again. They're going to fake the punt. They're running it. Sharon across the first down marker. Picks it up for the Griffins. Aggressive call from head coach Garth Melrose and the staff. Offense back onto the field.
I'm not sure if this was a called fake or he probably has the green light. And you could see the outside rusher came inside the up back. You can see number 9 step inside, so that gives him the window to take off and go. And in this case, he felt like he could get there, and sure enough, he outran the linebacker to the edge. So great heads-up play by the punter. Whether it's called or not, great play to keep Ernest Manning's offense on the field.
We're over halfway through. It's been a good first quarter so far. Another handoff. Parker Lehman picks up the first down. Sorry, that is the Dominicis. Tough to catch a number there. Jersey all scrunched up. That's their starting running back.
Well, again, bringing him in from the outside. He's kind of starting in the slot, coming on that counter. We've seen different teams over the weekend run that counter with their slot back or a receiver. In this case, they walk out their running back to the slot, and then they bring him across the formation on the counter.
From the Notre Dame 31. Ernest Manning moving the ball. Another handoff to the Dominicis. Up to the 21. Another pickup of 9 or 10. He'll be close to a first down.
So they're doing a great job reading this. So you can see the eyes of the quarterback. They're going to the defense, and they see the defense flow, as we see in our camera here. They flow to the left, and so they allow. That's when he hands it off. So he likely has the option to pull that and either run or run past there to the outside of the offense there. But again, this time he's reading that, and he's reading it really well right now as the flow of the defense is going with that motion guy.
2nd and 1. They'll hand it off again. Run through the right side of the line. Big tackle made, a physical one. It is a first down. Lamgarin in on the tackle.
So the team that has a dynamic offense and can do it through the air is kind of getting it done on the ground. You can see here just finding the space, following his hoggies, getting the first down there to get a new set of downs here inside the 20.
First trip to the red zone on either side today. This time they'll pull it back and throw to the end zone. Oh, just through the receiver's hands. It was by the uprights as well. The 13th defender for the defense. Wonder if that provided a bit of a distraction there for Charon.
Yeah, I was sure this was actually going to hit the upright. It came very, very close. There's our great end cut. You can see here, delivers it through the uprights.
Ooh, just over. Also, the defender, that defensive tackle, Ronald Okoye, jumped up and forced that throw maybe a little higher than they wanted.
I think you're right. I think the upright distracted him enough because he was open by a few steps. He had him where he needed him, and the ball was delivered there, just couldn't finish.
Another shot to the end zone. This one up for grabs. And to the reach of Charon. Another target for number 4. Couldn't connect on this drive, and now special teams coming back out for the Ernest Manning Griffins,
So big opportunity to try to get the touchdown. They dropped that one. This time they go to the corner route, but you can see the free safety already over there. Nothing else to pull him away from that deep route. And again, just couldn't get far enough out there, couldn't connect on that. It was a safe throw for the quarterback. He saw the double coverage, and so again, throw it a little further away. If your receiver's not getting to it, nobody's getting to it. They don't want to take the opportunity for a field goal off the board.
So it'll be a 25-yard attempt. For the Griffins, returner back is Akindele. For the Pride, they're going to fake it again. They'll go to the air, deep downfield. It is caught, I believe. 2 special teams fakes, 2 conversions. Griffins are first and goal.
I don't know if you saw this, but the running back actually lined up right behind the center like he's taking the snap, and they snapped it through his legs to the back guy in the backfield, and then they, of course, released a number of guys downfield. So a lot of moving parts, a lot of distractors designed into that play, and they found a receiver wide open downfield. So outstanding job, really exciting call this early in the game to try to get a major as opposed to the field goal attempt.
Had no sight line as to who caught that ball. I think it was Heaton Yip that threw it, the receiver. So, you got those plays you've been planning all year. You're saving them for a game like this. Ernest Manning's used one of them here. Just over 2 minutes to go, first and goal. Handoff. towards the end zone, down to the 1. Pile still moving, no whistles yet. That's Andrew Sohn. Touchdown, Griffins.
So the Griffins get it done after a fake punt, a fake field goal. They hand the ball off, and then they drive this pile into the end zone. Outstanding job by the offensive line, getting behind him, getting that extra push. Because again, he really got stopped at about the 2-yard line, but the push and the extra effort by his teammates got him to the end zone.
Believe that's 36. Alephantis, the kicker for the Griffins, out for the extra point attempt. Kick is up. And the Griffins have taken a 7-0 lead.
Well, we got the crowd out, the cowbells getting going down there. The excitement on the side of Ernest Manning with the first score of this game here tonight.
Notre Dame now still looking for a response. Did we get a penalty after the play as well?
I think there was an offside on the convert, and so with the offside, they can take the points and apply the yards here. So kicking off from the 50. I think that's what it was.
So Griffins jump out in front early.
So we've seen some special team excitement already in this one, not even out of the first quarter, and a couple things happen. So here comes the kickoff.
Going to be an onside kick, kicked into that empty area, jumping up to get it is James Churchman, the grade 11 linebacker. There is some Griffins streaking for that football. Not a bad idea.
So a little squib kick right up the middle. You can see the huge gap he's looking at. And again, he was hoping that that wouldn't go quite as far, so he had a chance to get to it. But a great heads-up play by one of the blockers on Notre Dame who saw him speeding down the field. Again, the first one downfield to take him out to give their returners time to get their hands on the ball.
Cox keeps it himself, steps up. I think that was a designed run play there. They kind of run sometimes a triple option offense. You'll see some wing formations, some T-bones, some wishbones, some weird stuff.
So here you can see again, it's a fake handoff. And I think he was looking to run to the edge, but with Ernest Manning doing such a great job of sealing the edge, they forced him back up inside, which again, less room in there, and he doesn't. Most quarterbacks don't really want to run a whole lot inside and take shots. So I think he gave himself up there after a couple of yards.
It's a 2nd and 8 here. Need to get to the 45. Another handoff, run up the middle, low shoulder pads. Boy, a big play there. Justin Ayugan out to the 50. He's the change of pace back. We'll get a lot of touches today as well for the Pride.
Well, on a change of pace, exactly what they needed. You can see there, he just takes a gap on the inside and just barrels through a bunch of traffic, keeping 2 hands on the ball like you want your young running backs to do. And again, just getting the first down and a few extra yards.
This time they'll give it to the fullback. Ayugan again. See guys line up at fullback, running back, kind of just back. Whatever you want to call it.
Backs all over the place, yeah. Well, they're still staying in, with one tight end. They seem to be very, very comfortable in that tight end formation. So they got one tight end off the right-hand side. They've got a beefier back at fullback and then a number of backs that play the backfield. So you got one receiver and then 2 slot backs on the right.
Ayugan's pretty new to football, but a track star, so super athletic, very coachable. So he's adjusted well to this level. Notre Dame keeps driving the football. That's Sarani Brown again, one of the best backs in the province. He carries the load. Got a good U Sport future ahead of him. Played in the CFC prospect game back in May. Got the final buzzer here in the first quarter, but I believe we have one more play to go.
You know, and watching that replay, you can see how he lowers his pad level and explodes up and through the tacklers and getting those extra yards. And those extra 2 or 3 yards make a world of a difference when you're talking about the difference between, 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 2, or in this case, the first down yards he gained after contact.
Iogan again takes it over the middle, and he falls forward for a pickup of about a yard. This run game just super physical. Well, we got a good look through the first quarter of what we're going to see for these two teams, Rob. One offense and one team in Ernest Manning that is just throwing everything into this game right now. They're reaching deep into the playbook already, keeping Notre Dame on the heels against an old school, old-fashioned running game.
Yeah, and as the teams get colder and you get later in tonight, sometimes it's a little bit harder to operate. So taking some of those risks a little bit earlier, the punt fake, the fake field goal, and it turned out for them, of course, and they got the major after 2 of those situations happened on that same drive. They held on to the ball, and that's something that Notre Dame wants to do going into They want to own the time of possession, run with consistency, which in the first quarter they didn't do until this last drive. They found a way, and really it's just straight ahead running. You got the extra lineman in there playing that tight end spot, and now they're getting ready for this next quarter.
We are into the quarter break. Ernest Manning up 7-0, but Notre Dame driving the football.
Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
What day is it today? Just under a month from Christmas, right? See the snow all around the Johnny Bright Bowl. And what a Christmas it'll be for one of these teams.
One of these teams,
Everyone's
yeah.
going to be happy. It's the best Christmas gift you could get is a provincial championship here at the 5A level. It is the top tier of high school football here in Alberta. So many of these players that you'll see today are going to go on have futures in the Canadian Junior Football League out in U Sports. Some may go down to the States. Some may end up playing Pro Bowl over the years. We've seen plenty of players from Alberta go down, play in the play in the CFL, and some even go down and play in the NFL in recent years. And so much talent on this field. It's been a good showcase all weekend long for all these teams that have made it.
Yeah, 4 championship trophies and banners handed out, and 1 left for tonight.
It'll be a 2nd and 8 to open things up here in the second quarter for the Pride. A give to Brown and a run up the middle. So curious, you got 2nd and 8, a passing down. You pretty much know that Notre Dame is going to stay on the ground. Obviously, their importance is to stay ahead of the sticks, but where do they go on 2nd or 3rd and longs today?
Well, it looks like it depends on where they are on the field. Again, in plus territory now, they're probably already thinking 3 down territory, so they're not going to change anything up from this. And now they've got going under center here. We'll see what we get here.
A quick give. I think they're short, just past the line of scrimmage, the give to a Kindlate. And the Griffins have come up with a stop on third down.
Well, they decided to go to the edge versus the dive here. And again, great job by the corner to step up and just stick him right where he found him again. Didn't have any opportunity to cut that upfield because he just closed that gap and cut off that corner so quickly.
Beneke.
Big defensive stand there. Notre Dame had some things going, but just not enough on that one.
Griffins will start at their own 38. Feels like a big drive here early in this game. If the Griffins can drive the field, take even more momentum. They'll go play action here, quickly into the flats. Charon, they've targeted him a bunch just across the 40. Good job by Notre Dame to rally to the football and force it to be just a short gain.
Yeah, they're now coming out with that tight end look. So now they've got the tight end on the left side of the offensive line. You can see there a little bit of play action in the backfield, trying to find him just out into the flat. Does a great job, but Notre Dame does a good job just closing the distance, limiting his ability to run to just 4 yards there on the gain.
2nd down and 6. They need the 48. This time they'll hand it off to Dominicis, met at the line of scrimmage. Lucas Scott filled that gap in a heartbeat, and there was nowhere to go. Griffins are going to be punting. Probably.
So this time they got the tight end in there, plus the fullback off the right edge. They're just trying to take advantage of the box that they're seeing, but just not a lot of running room on the interior there. Great job by Notre Dame's defense to just be filling their gaps, gap responsibility on the inside, taking away the running lanes.
Remember last time Ernest Manning punted, it was a fake. You got the onside returners, recovers over there. You got a bunch of open field over there. Something to look out for. This time they'll make sure they seal the gaps, force the punt. It's caught just inside the 40, ball on the ground. We got a flag though. We got a flag. There should be a no yards. That ball was also touched in the air, so I believe that would be 15. Should be a no yards. We'll have to check the call. Notre Dame did recover just in case it isn't.
Good high hang time on that. Again, he did touch it, and then it kind of squirts loose underneath him.
Indication is no yards against Ernest Manning. You've seen that player at the top just inside that 5-yard bubble.
No yard. Ernest Manning, yard penalty.
And caught just enough of it. No yards, Ernest Manning. Good to go. They'll put it down.
Because it was bouncing
43.
around on the ground, I think it's a 5-yard nature.
I thought when he touched it, it might have been in the air at first, like when that ball was coming down.
Yeah, it's hard to say if it almost went right through him. It's
Regardless, Pride take it at their own 43. Handoff and another run for Serrani Brown. Drives the pile forward, pick up a 4 or 5. Notre Dame will take that on offense, pick up 4 every time.
Ernest Manning doing a pretty good job with their defensive linemen not getting getting pushed back into their linebacking core. And that's what you want to do to stop this run. Is you got to get penetration into the backfield and move some bodies. Keep the offensive line off your linebackers so they can step up into the gaps and make some tackles.
Another handoff here. This time it's Ayagan. They got a flag on the play early. This one looks to be in the area of a hold. If it's not, it'll be a first down.
We'll see if we can catch something off the left edge here. It's holding right there on 66.
Holding. Number 66, no yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Our camera crew out in the cold catching those shots exactly where we were looking.
Yeah, we're cold
Right
up
there.
here.
Yeah.
They're colder out there
Yes.
because there's just a little bit of wind. And the last place that anyone wants to be on a day like today is up in that lift, getting the end cut shots. There's a lot of sacrifice that goes into getting those shots for you at home. We're cold, but I can't complain.
No, we cannot. Not from here.
No, we got a little bit of heat. We're shielded from the wind. Not a ton of wind tonight, but just that little bit. You know how it changes things on a cold winter day. First pass attempt of the game maybe coming up for Notre Dame. Right now, Coxo has to just throw that one away. Smart play, would have lost even more. Second and very long. They had to go to the air, just didn't have anybody.
Well, and this is where you've only got a couple receivers to the side he's rolling to. You can see there's one underneath and one deep, and there's two guys on the second level of passing, and he doesn't really move anywhere, so it doesn't give him a good outlet, because if you end up throwing back across your body, that so often ends up in the hands of the defense. So great decision just to throw it away, not take a loss, and just live to punt this one away.
Boot taken just inside the 45. Ernest Manning, that's Charon across the 50. Spins, still on his feet. Out to the 40. Net difference of only 3 yards after the return.
Well, and that's good for the Sticks crew. They don't have to go very far. Just reset, turn them the other way, and away they go. So starting here on just outside the 40, Ernest Manning with outstanding field position after what we saw now being another special teams play by Ernest Manning. We've had a couple fakes go on, we've had different things, and of course that return sets them up for some points here. If they can get a couple first downs, or if they can get all the way into the end zone from the 40.
Plus territory for the Griffins starting on the Pride 40. Looking to take a 2-possession lead here in the first half of the 5A Provincial Championship. They're going to have some work to do, though, because they're stuck in the backfield right now. Notre Dame all over it. That was a give to Dominicis.
You know, the defense was really strong at the point of attack here. You can see the defensive lineman beating his guy, getting off there. And again, although he didn't necessarily make the tackle, he definitely made the play for the defense, forcing the running back into the middle of the field where their pursuit closed down that backside and made a tackle for the loss.
Pride trying to pick up their offense. Looked like maybe a Coy right in the middle of that again. Big defensive tackle over the middle. Pride looking like they're going to rush forward. We got a flag, and I think a procedure here. Ernest Manning's offense is going to go back. Time count violation.
I'm going to make this second down a little bit harder. Again, likely going through the air, and we saw even on the second and 11 or 12, whatever it was there before that 5-yard penalty, they were already looking at running a different defense. So you can see they've got 3 defensive linemen. In this case, they're kind of moving around, trying to figure out who's coming from where.
Heaton Yip
making them guess.
Heaton Yip right at the bottom of the screen. Maybe their most dangerous receiver hasn't gotten going yet. Heineman going to take it and run himself. Room over the middle. A ton of speed for Heineman. Pumps into a defender and forward across the 30. A gain of 18 and enough for a first down.
Well, if you look at this defense, moving around, jumping around, not really set. And again, they're trying to make them guess. They get the free edge off the edge, the free rusher off the edge, which is what they want. But again, they got that huge gap in the middle. So what an outstanding job of one, protecting the ball, but finding that hole to run through and getting just enough to the line of gain. Great job executing on second and very long.
It's another bit of a look at what makes Harrison Heineman such a great quarterback. This time a throw towards the boundary dropped. Heineman has given his receivers some chances today, but the Griffins have had a bit of troubles reeling it in.
Well, that's twice, I think. I think he was the one on the slant that he also dropped that. Again, he's got to get his hands away from his body and catch it. He's letting it come into his shoulder pads. And I know it's tempting to do that, and sometimes when it's lower, you're going to have to do that. But in this case, he's got to get his hands out, catch the ball cleanly. And I know it's hard because it's cold, but that's the expectation. You got to do a good job of keeping your hands warm, so when they do come out to catch it, you can actually secure it with his hands.
Player down for the Pride is Michael Eluluhaya. Linebacker for the Pride.
The other tricky part, so we've now seen a couple drops by Ernest Manning's receivers. At some point, frustration's going to kind of creep in a little bit. It's like, hey, we've got to execute because the plays are there. So, you know, you got the plays are there, the opportunity is there, but the plays aren't being made. And so they're going to have to really focus in and find a way to catch that ball when it's delivered on time in the right space.
Refs whistle the play in. Heaton Yip might have one-on-one at the top of the screen. No safety over top. They'll go to the air, looking towards Yip, but he's flushed out of the pocket to the right. Heineman with a ton of running room down that right side. Gets across the 30 to the 25, and quick close for Notre Dame. Akindele once again, the defensive back, has made so many plays for that defense today.
You know, a very good athlete at quarterback. You can see there he's going to have to buy himself some time. So he takes off, he escapes out the outside and outruns the first bit of pressure. But then, like you said, they close down. And this is where you want to see your receivers come. You see all the gold helmets kind of peeling off to the sideline. You want to get a receiver who gets a jump on that and finds a little space when he's rolling out. So he has an option to throw the ball. But in that case, no receiver came into his vision.
They're punting here from the 25 on third.
And there's not really a return. They got two deep free safeties.
Yeah, they're just making sure they don't go for it, I think. A couple onside players as well at the bottom of the screen. They do fake it. A run up towards the 20. It was a direct snap. This is going to be close. That far stick is not the official one. It's on the near side to our camera. They haven't moved the sticks yet.
They did have to get a little bit beyond the stripe at the 20-yard line.
Probably closer to the 19. Oh, this is going to be really close, Rob. They're going to bring in the measurement. Was it the first game today we had the closest measurement I've ever seen? Like they could have brought out a credit card. It was we had a close-up right down the line, right at the ball. The tip of the ball was right at the stick, and you couldn't tell if it was a first down or not. They had to look at it for like 10 seconds. That was in game one. And I don't think we're going to be much further here.
Well, I think it was an NFL game earlier this year where the ref actually pulled out a credit card and slid it by the ball and the post to see if they indeed got it. So we'll check here.
Let's see.
There you go. There's our shot, and it's
it's going to be close.
Short.
Oh my goodness! Another one. It looks to be short although no one's really reacting yet. We had the only view of it.
Short by an inch. Short by an inch. It all comes down to that spot. I think they got the spot right from what I saw. And again, it just comes down to, like you said, a game of inches. And there's a great example. It is truly a game of inches. Ernest Manning just on the doorstep of some more points. Came up an inch short on that drive.
Tell you what, Notre Dame's offense has not really been moving the ball so much. They haven't been able to control the clock. You felt like they needed to do that to win the game, but the defense so far, stout. One touchdown only in this game for the Griffins. That's their only score. They're bending a little bit, but they're not breaking. Pride offense wants to help him at least get some field position back. Another run play right over the middle and a whole bunch of bodies. Tackle made by Lincoln Hawk.
No, it's hard because you don't even know where the back is. Like you see him just in behind like 4 white jerseys, got guys pushing everybody else, and it's like to try to track down the ball carrier in the mix of all those bodies flying around, it's really, really hard, and that's why that push is so important by the offensive line. You can just push the whole pile, not knowing where that ball carrier is in the mix.
A little bit of a low snap. Griffins everywhere once again. There's 4 or 5 guys in on every tackle right now for Ernest Manning. It's hard to even call a number. Another stop, another short gain, if any.
I can see the guy who makes first contact, but the gold on Navy is a little tougher to see when it's moving. And the numbers are so thick. It's like a 13, looks like a 16, looks like a 0, looks like an 8. Well, they were there in the hole, and then
lots of guys were there.
Yeah, forcing another punt situation. So 2 returners deep for Ernest Manning, sitting inside, still in plus territory.
They're not going to get the kickoff. First and goal for the Griffins coming up.
So we've seen some snaps cause problems. Special teams already a part of this one. And again, just took his focus off the ball for a fraction of a second and didn't catch it cleanly. But we've seen that happen with receivers. We've seen that happen in this game already. This one proving to be costly if Ernest Manning can capitalize on the turnover right at the 10-yard line. So 3 downs here to see if they can get some points. No yardsticks out, so again, they are inside the 10 or right at the 10, so they cannot get a first down.
Can the Pride defense make a stand? Heineman to the air, to the end zone. Touchdown, Griffins. It's Jaron.
Well, a little quick wheel route, got a great matchup. And again, when you can get your slot back matched up against a linebacker, he's going to have the advantage. Still good coverage. You can see him on the quick wheel. He stays with them, but a little bit of a back shoulder on a line. The defender had no chance to see it. What a great focus by the receiver. We've seen a couple balls drop. That one totally secured in tight coverage, but again, holds on for the touchdown.
Extra point coming up for the Griffins. Is up and through. 14-0 is the lead. Ernest Manning. As we take another look at that touchdown toss.
Yeah, there you go. Slow motion, secured it in the end zone, making sure he took it all the way in, secured it. Great job. And then, of course, the extra point to add on top. So, you know, Notre Dame struggling to get that run game going in rhythm. Again, Ernest Manning using a number of different ways. You know, obviously special teams got that turnover, converted quickly into 7 points through the air. Their first drive obviously started the scoring, so now up 14-0. This is not where you want to be at Notre Dame, being a running team, needing to get some points early. So with 3:32 left, they're going to have to find a way. I don't think they need to abandon the run, but they probably need to find a way to get a couple first downs, see if they can get some points on the board before the half.
As you mentioned, Rob, Notre Dame not really a team built to come back from behind. This ball's on the ground and finally reeled in at the 36. That kickoff from Ernest Manning is causing issues. Eventually, it was recovered by James Churchman.
Well, you give up a little bit of yards because you're not kicking it deep, but you also keep it out of the hands of the most dangerous people. And this is like that. I don't even know how you kick a ball that bounces like that. And I know it's a football, it never bounces easy, but that's all over the place. You add in the elements and a little bit of snow buried in the turf. It's hard to corral those things. So great job by Notre Dame to get on it. Decent field position outside their 35, but Ernest Manning continuing to find ways to get it done. Special teams, offense, and the defense is pitching in as well, posting a 0 right now.
Look at all the blockers in there for Notre Dame. Another give to Serrani Brown. He's got no room on the edge. There's just nothing there for Notre Dame right now. This time it was Cam Stahl in there first.
You can see just the push by the defensive line, spreading this out, and then the pursuit by everybody else on the defense. And this is the tough thing. We saw it in the last game when the bread and butter you do is your run game. You pack the box, you take care of the run. It's really hard to expand your offense. So Notre Dame does need to find a way to get this going. And they lined up everybody they possibly can on the line of scrimmage.
Another give here on 2nd and long to Brown. We got a flag on the play. I think this one is going to come back even more.
Well, I think you almost decline this.
Well,
get 3rd down in about 7.
I'll say this, be it a 3rd and about 22 if you
Holding.
accept.
Number
2nd and 22.
penalties declined.
Yeah, sorry.
3rd down.
And how much do you trust your defense? They will decline it and play it safe.
3rd and 7. So
the way this Griffins defense is playing right now, at 15 yards could be valuable under 3 minutes to go, but
well, and then it's a clock, right? If they move it back, they get another play. Now they're looking at it's 2:45. They're going to have to punt here. Again, the clock should wind on the whistle. There we go. The clock's getting signaled to wind. They do get the punt off, and it's not a good one.
low bouncer right to the sideline. Took a bad bounce for Notre Dame.
18,
right out
20 yards out of bounds, but whew.
Out at the 54.
Ernest Manning is liking their opportunity. Already up 14, getting the ball back in plus territory with 2:38 to go.
Memory is not going to serve me perfect here, but it was Ernest Manning down at the half just a couple of years ago out in Red Deer to Raymond. It might have been a 21-0 game at one. Like, they were down multiple possessions. Ernest Manning stormed back late in the game to win a provincial title, so they know that these games are never over. But a score to go up 3 here would be huge. Heineman down the field. This one's tipped up and caught by the receiver, Will Sladek. Oh, he's still up. They haven't whistled him down. Now Notre Dame
that was after the fumble. So we're interesting if we're going to call this a completion and he's down, a completion he's down and he's fumbled, and then they blow the whistle dead. I'm guessing based on the whistle before the fumble recovery,
be a difference of about a yard.
Going to be down there, but they will have a conversation as to whether it was incomplete or not. So they called him down.
First down. We'll have a better look at it. Let's see, is it a catch? Is it a catch and fumble?
So it's that deep in after the under clears it out. You can see there. It's like he does bobble it as he's going down.
No, he doesn't have that football.
I don't think he has the football long enough to make that a catch.
Heineman pressured right up the middle by Okoye. Now breaks away, makes one man miss, still going forward. I mean, this guy's a quarterback. He can play running back, he can probably play receiver or anywhere on defense as well.
Man, he's a very good athlete, and he's confident, and he's comfortable in the pocket. He's comfortable running, protecting himself when he's taking shots. You can see here a tall, lanky athlete. Again, just off he goes. Very good feet for a tall guy. But again, just getting the yards and then finishing going forward, and great job of getting what he can to set up a better second down. You mean, contact happened pretty early on that one, and he managed to get 6 yards out of it.
Heineman, a really good description of kind of what a modern quarterback is. He can throw the ball on a dime, but he's also got the big arm and the legs to go along. Be interesting to see how his career continues to develop. This snap was off one of the players in front of Heineman and eventually recovered by Charon, but a big loss on second down will bring up 3rd and long. Punt team coming out, although apparently it doesn't really mean too much for the Griffins.
No.
I think it might have went off of Charon.
It definitely went off somebody on the way to the quarterback, and it changed directions there. It almost looked like it was a direct snap to maybe the running back, but not a great situation there. And an eventful special teams night we have here with Ernest Manning.
Off the arm of Charon. Yeah, we'll see. Charon's back punting, standing just inside midfield. I hesitate to even call him a punter on a play like this. They've just been running fakes. 3rd and 12. They need to get it to the Notre Dame 29. Keep our eyes on this one. A couple onside players still as well. That kick up high into the air. Taken just inside the 25 on the run. There's a flag, probably in no yards here as it can delay. Took it on the run. That's what you want to do, put pressure on the cover team when you can get it in the air like that.
Well, yeah, and again, we've seen the ball hit the turf a few times. It's not easy to handle. A great job there, corralling the snap, and again, nice kick. We'll get a good shot here of who gets caught inside the 5 yards.
No yards.
Hard to tell there.
Number 18, Ernest Manning. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
So Cole McKinnis just inside the halo. He's maybe 4.5 yards away. But again, as the returner takes those last step or two to that ball, that's where that difference is. Again, he had himself out of it, but again, good job of fielding it in the air.
One last chance here in the first half for Notre Dame. They need points. They're going to throw it here. Long pass out to the left side. It'll be a short gain. They found Wyatt Connor. This was about a 30-yard throw to pick up about 5.
Well, you can see how soft the corner is, but it just took so long to get out there. He does a great job. So he's at 15 yards when the ball comes out. He closes the 10-yard distance between him and the receiver, makes a great hit there on the receiver, finished off by his halfback teammate coming in to finish that tackle off.
Clock is running. Another run. Sarani Brown makes a move to midfield. 40 seconds to go. This Pride offense needs to work a lot quicker than they did in that last play, though.
Yeah, I think at this point they're just happy not to turn the ball back over to Ernest Manning, really. And again, they're obviously lining up, going a little bit of no huddle, but got to get that information out because it is winding down. But I think for them right now, they just need to get into half, and they need to find a way to talk this through and figure out what's going on with the offensive line in the front seven of Ernest Manning, that they can try to crack the code and get their run game going.
Can't have much long on the play clock. I think they got it was 1 second left. Cox flushed out right, trying to go downfield. That ball is out, fumbled forward. Someone should touch it just in case.
Yeah.
No one does.
I
don't know if he had control there.
As a defense, you definitely want to get on that, because if they do call it that it's a live ball, because it was going forward, they did rule it right away as a forward pass. It wasn't clean, though.
Just in case.
It came out as his arm started to move forward. I think because the arm came forward, the ball came forward, they ruled it as a forward pass. So second down now, but it will stop the clock at 10 seconds. So we'll see. Someone's using their timeout. Just talk about this, make sure they don't give up anything they don't want to at this point in time. Get a little water in the guys before they take their halftime break.
Been all Griffins here in the first half of this football game.
Like the, you can see our shot, the Cats. Is it Cats jackets? So I wonder who the Cats are. Ernest Manning used to be the Cats.
Beats me.
A long time ago.
Old school long, so I think they call them trench coats, right? I don't know.
Yeah. They're wind jackets. You can get them insulated or not. I've got some from our team, but clearly they've dug those out of the vault somewhere in Ernest Manning, or borrowed those from somewhere to keep the sideline guys warm while they're off.
2nd and 10, right from midfield. They're going to go to the air. Cox steps back, unleashes a pass. Oh, it's a trick play. They pitched it back. I don't mind that play for Notre Dame, but the defense read it perfectly. Impressive. Wyatt Connor was the one who got the pitch back. A little bit of trickeration. I mean, those kind of plays can go for a big executed well.
Hook and ladder there. And again, they actually had the option out here. He could have optioned it to the edge guy. Not sure he gets a whole lot further, but, not stopping for sure. I think Notre Dame's called timeout to make sure they can get this play in properly. They do get one more play, even if it was whistled in. With 3.5 left, they will get the last play potentially if there's no penalty. So do they have another trick play? I know we saw that hitch and ladder work really well. I think it was the Bills game.
Yeah,
they ran a deep dig and a crosser from the other side. He runs the in, draws in the defense, and the little flip. It wasn't for a touchdown, but I think it converted like a 3rd and 25 or something. So see what Notre Dame has here to see if they can get maybe a pass interference call down the field, take a shot. But you can also see Ernest Manning only rushing 3 with 2 linebackers and cover 4, cover 5. We'll see how many guys drop into coverage, but keeping everybody inside.
Griffins rushing 3, pocket breaking down, flipped ahead to Brown. Brown just killing a little more time before we go to halftime. Covered well by the Griffins again. And when you can pressure 3 and still get to the quarterback, you're dominating, and it gave Notre Dame just no chance. You got 9 in coverage, 3 pressuring the quarterback. And they did get pressure. It's 15 to nothing. Now they've dropped it again. 14-0. Changed the score on me. Oh, I was looking at it. So 14-0 is the lead for the Griffins going into halftime. And Rob, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what Notre Dame has to do here in the second half to come back in this game.
Well, I think they need to come out and try to establish that run game. It is hard going right now against the Griffins. They're doing an outstanding job on defense, keeping them from getting any momentum in that run game, which is going to be a key part to there. I just don't know if they have the offensive structure to start throwing the ball. So, again, getting play action going really is what they're going to need to do, but play action's only any useful if you can get your run game going. So they are going to have to find a way for their front 5 Hoggies to make some holes for their running backs and start moving that ball. Otherwise, Ernest Manning, with the tricks and all aspects of their team operating on a high cylinder, executing well and taking advantage of the turnover, it's going to be a tough one for Notre Dame if they can't start with that run game in the second half early.
It's kind of front nine hoggies for the Notre Dame Pride.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a few minutes here up in the booth. One more half left in the Football Alberta season. 5A Provincial Championship. Ernest Manning Griffins up 14-0.
Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
Welcome back to the Johnny Bright Bowl. We got one half of snowy football left. The camera crew has packed into the booth here. We got a bit of a gallery going on. Should bring some warmth to the booth, hopefully. It's cold. And it's been cold all weekend. It's been a good provincial weekend so far. Breton Cougars winning in the 6-a-side game over the Hannah Hawks 36-16. The Wainwright Commandos taking on the Bonnyville Voyageurs. That was in the 9-a-side game, winning 28-24. Classic. All-time Alberta Bowl game. And then you get the Holy Rosary Raiders just cementing their dynasty, 26-14 win over the Cardston Cougars. And then the game before this one, Austin O'Brien over Holy Trinity, 15-14, a one-point game. So we've seen a couple close ones. This one so far has been maybe the most dominant showing that we've had so far. Ernest Manning only up 14-0. It doesn't feel like it, though.
Yeah, Notre Dame has, they really had kind of one drive where they were able to operate on the ground. I'll give you some numbers from the first half to put it in perspective. Chris Cox, the quarterback for Notre Dame, was 3 for 5 for 23 yards. Harrison Hindman was 5 for 9, 51 yards. And, of course, the touchdown there on the wheel route, the second one going in. The running back's been busy. Brown for Notre Dame, 7 carries, only 31 yards. And it's not a bad evening of running, but for them, that is not a great production in the run game. And then Ernest Manning actually running with a little bit more effectiveness, having 2 backs kind of leading with 30 yards each. Hyman, the quarterback, and Dominic Nikas, another 30 yards. So again, using their athleticism of the quarterback has really made a difference in this one. Through the air, again, not super eventful, but Notre Dame only a couple catches with guys all under 10 yards. And then Charon, 4 catches for 33, leading all the receivers. And Sladek also pitching in with a couple catches and 29 yards. Here's the stat of the day for you, though. I was excited about this one. Special teams has played a part in this game, and they've actually impacted the game. Of course, 7 of the Ernest Manning points came off of the turnover on the muffed snap. But the punters both being active, 3 punts each, exactly 71 yards each. So their punting average is identical. Total offense for Notre Dame, 70 yards for Ernest Manning, 119. And, of course, the 14 points, one of those coming on a 6-yard field because of the turnover. Time of possession, surprising. This is an interesting one for me. I thought Notre Dame coming into this would own time of possession with the run game, but it's actually Ernest Manning out in front, almost exactly 15 minutes to 10 minutes. So, again, a big difference there, or 9 minutes there. But 2 turnovers for Notre Dame, 1 for Ernest Manning. That second turnover is the one that cost them the 7 points. So still have some trouble with their offense and their run game getting going. They need to find a way to get that going here in the second half.
Only 4 first downs as well for that Notre Dame offense. And the way they run the football, and we talked about, they need to get those consistent 6-yard gains. It feels like things were going to come harder for them even before this game. When you're running the football, you need to almost be a little more perfect, right? Get those 6 yards. You get that loss of 5, you're behind the sticks. You don't have that same passing attack that Ernest Manning does where they can make up for that lost yardage. So to score, they need at least 4 first downs on a drive, even if they get good field position, if you're just going to pick up those 4 or 5 yards every time, right?
Yeah, the backs have the ability to break one.
They do. Brown looks electric. He's just been bottled up.
Yeah, and again, that's what Ernest Manning needs to do is bottle up their backs. And again, maybe they've given up a couple yards beyond 10, but really not many runs beyond 10 yards. And again, they're not able to piece a couple together. It's like, okay, they may get, a good 6-yard run, but on second down they take a loss of 1 or maybe only a 1-yard gain. And in a cold night like this, they're ending punting it away. And when you're operating in your own end, you're less likely to go for it on third down. Where Ernest Manning has said, you know what, we're willing to take the risk. They take the risk on the fake punt. The punter takes off, gets a first down, keeps that drive alive. They go down, they get the stop. Notre Dame gets a stop on them. They line up for a field goal. They call a fake field goal. They execute it, get the first down, end up in the end zone with the touchdown. And then, of course, special teams on the other end, they capitalized on the snap that was dropped by the punter and quickly executed the wheel route, got it into the end zone to go up 14-0.
The longest run of the first down, or the first half rather, for Notre Dame was from Justin Ayugan. 13 yards on his longest run, the longest run for Brown, who had 1 more carry, 7 carries for 31 yards. Ayugan 6 for 26. Brown's longest was 8 yards, average pretty much the same, 4.3 for one, 4.4 for the other. The most effective rusher today has actually been Harrison Heineman, the quarterback. 4 rushes on those scrambles. He's picked up 30 yards with a long of 18, and that was for a first down where he needed about 17 and a half as well. So it just feels like right now Ernest Manning has the edge. It feels tough for Notre Dame, yet it's a 2-score game. And if Notre Dame can come out and have a long drive, Rob, it's one play away. One stop and a long run, one pick six, one anything. And Notre Dame can be back in this game. Give credit to the defense as well. Of course, that one time they had that 10-yard field. They give up the touchdown. Can't expect much more out of them there. Other than that, just one touchdown in the first half for Ernest Manning. It hasn't been domination on that side of the ball for them by any means. They've had to work hard for every yard.
No, and I think the biggest difference in this half, I mean, obviously the score and execution on some turnovers, but really at this point, Heineman has been the difference. He's delivered the ball well when he's been asked to. A couple drop balls for Ernest Manning, or they may have more points, but his athletic ability to buy extra time and to get a couple first downs has, in my opinion, been the difference in this one.
It will be Notre Dame receiving the kickoff. We'll see what they got up their sleeves here for the second half. Can they paint a comeback that they'll remember forever? It's an onside kick. Ernest Manning is going to catch it in the air and run across the 35. Lewis caught it. This is like a soccer free kick almost. They had 2 guys that could have kicked it, and it was right into the arms of Lewis.
Well, we don't have a long list of all the coaches at Ernest Manning, but whoever is operating this special teams, this is something I love to do all the time in the 9-a-side game with when they start dropping back and executing. That was perfect execution. Nice kick, has enough height and hang time with 2 guys out there on the one Notre Dame guy just taking advantage. And so again, Notre Dame still has to wait some time before they get a chance to get their offense on the field.
What a momentum changer. Notre Dame still 2 possessions down. Now a big run across the 20 to the 11. That's Andrew Sohn. The Griffins have just been on the gas pedal all game, and special teams has been such a big part of that. There's just been no room for error for Notre Dame.
You practice and prepare all year with so many of these plays, and so often you finish the season without ever using them. They are using them all up today.
Yeah. They did this a couple years ago in 23 as well. They went deep into the bag of tricks. Seen a lot of this kind of stuff on special teams. Wondered if we may see a little more trickeration today, and well, we have. Timeout on the field. I think Notre Dame might have called one. See a player running on late. They only had 11 guys on the field. They're just... wonder if they only had 11 on that last play as well, actually.
Well,
the long run?
I don't know.
I didn't see anyone go off.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I see 11 out there.
Almost caught the telestrator. It would have taken me too long to count, though.
I saw 11 out there, so you may be right. They may have been short one. They've got their full slate out there now. 6-man front.
One-on-one coverage on the outside everywhere. Heineman to the air. Lots of contact. Boy, that one
almost
second there was almost intercepted by 27, Kyler Brown, who was just blanketing the receiver.
Well, it's kind of the hitch and go, a little bit of underneath guy trying to draw him in. You can see he kind of pulled it off of him and almost had it, but not quite. That is definitely something Notre Dame could have used at this point in time. Get that turnover back and keep some more points off the board. But second down it is for Ernest Manning on this first drive after the short kick recovery.
Field goal will make it a 3-possession game. Griffins looking for more. Heineman tucks it, runs. Not a lot of room down there. He's able to push forward inside the 10 to the 8, and that's going to bring up a third down decision here for Garth Melrose.
You know, I know they're deep in their end. Their defense is obviously playing lights out tonight, and that tempts you to go for it here. But I still think, you know, you're up 14. If you can kick a field goal here, you then go up 3 scores. It makes it an automatic 3. And I know, again, everything may tell you, hey, Notre Dame's having a hard time putting points on the board and moving the ball. Let's go for it. If we turn it over, they got a long field. They're going to go for it here.
Wildcat high snap. Now they throw to the end zone. Defended at the last moment. That was Cole McInnes and Wildcat. And the Pride come up with a stop, so they evade danger after an onside kick, a big run play.
So this was like a Wildcat run, and they had him wide open, but because of the bad snap, it took too long, and he's able to come over and make a play. Number 27 does a great job of reacting late, but because it was a bad snap, they weren't able to throw it because he definitely was open early. And again, for your Wildcat running back, he's got to make that throw, but again, he's got to get that ball first. And unfortunately, with the high snap, he wasn't able to do it. So we'll see how this plays out, because they could have taken points on a field goal, or at least an attempt. Now Notre Dame's got a long field ahead of them.
Kyler Brown in coverage there, hit him just late enough as well. If he was early, that could have been a PI. Handoff. Bit of running room up the middle, maybe as much room as we've seen all day. A big hole for Serrani Brown, and a pickup, his longest carry of the day, 11 yards.
Yeah, you can see the hole in there.
They can do that. That's how they come back.
Well, that's what they need to do. They got the stop, so they survived the turnover on special teams, and now they're early here on the move.
Low snap, taken easily. Iogan lowers the shoulder pads out to the 25, a run of 6.
You know, man, the tricky part about having a run game like Notre Dame, and if you do get down, like, you want to stick with the run, but Ernest Manning is also saying, hey, I'm okay if you're going to run the ball 3 and 4 yards a time. Like you said, you know, like if they can crack one and get back within one score, that's a big place to be. And they've got this quarter to do that. See if they can execute here on 2nd and 4.
Brown. First down.
This is where Notre Dame's run is, hopefully for them, is going to start wearing on Ernest Manning. You can see the double team at the point of the attack. And again, just shoulders stay forward, stay parallel to the line of scrimmage, and they just attack the line, attack the line, attack the line.
Say this as well. Sometimes that run game can really take its toll as the game goes on, especially here as we approach the middle parts of the third quarter going into the fourth. Seen it all weekend long. You get that running game going early, it just gets better and better as the game goes on. So that's what Notre Dame and head coach David DeLuzio are hoping for. Another pickup of 4, maybe 5 on first down. Iogan.
This is what they needed to do in the first half. Again, coming out, try to execute here. I think they've got a good chance to continue this drive if they can convert this. Second and a little bit longer than the first one. They had to convert, and at some point they're going to probably come to play action. But again, they do need to get this drive going. They can't afford to be punting it away here.
Give to Brown, cuts it back over the middle. This is going to be close to another first down for Notre Dame. It is right at the markers. They needed the 42. They spot it at the 42. Might get a measurement here. Head official eyeing it up. And he's going to call it a third down and just short.
Yeah, short, looks like by about a half a yard.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he got a little further, wasn't he? Yeah, no, I think they got that right. Just need the extra 10 inches, 12 inches, maybe a foot.
Hogan checks back into the game as Kindley goes to the sideline. They need about an inch. Quarterback sneak. I had no clue where that football is, I'm going to be honest with you, Rob.
Oh, he got right to the line. Definitely a first down. So it's the same one they did last time, but Ernest Manning ran a guy in and they snapped it through his legs. So again, he comes in late, right behind the center.
It was 81 with the football there.
Yeah, quarterback was in shotgun, but he ran in behind the center to take the snap.
Wyatt Connor. Boy, he almost got to the secondary there. Almost broke one on 3rd and short. Just across the 45. Forgive my tired eyes and maybe tired voice as well. They're going to go to the air here. Cox, pitch and catch. It's on a dime as they get it to Wyatt Connor at the 47.
So going to the air a little bit, that's what they want to do. Again, they've run a little bit of sweep action. They kept the linebackers there long enough, couldn't get the depth underneath the seam route on the left side there, and so they were able to just put it in. And a great ball from the quarterback to be able to put it on the line and get it there before the free safety can get over there, but yet over top of the linebacker. So outstanding execution there.
Longest pass in the first half was just 9. That one went for a lot more. Now Brown laying into the defense. Another first down for Notre Dame.
So this drive is what Notre Dame football has been about all year.
Where'd they start? Like inside their own 10, right? Maybe at the 12?
Yep.
At least you flip the field. You do get to the point here, though, where you've taken so much time that you kind of need to score now here halfway through the third quarter.
I think it's 3-down football from here on in.
Low
That's
snap.
going to change things.
Cox goes back to get it. Can he throw it away? Runs forward to the 47, and he's met by a slew of Griffins. That hurts.
We talked about the negative plays, holding, bad snaps, fumbles, those types of things that are going to hurt a run offense, and that's exactly what happened there. Just a little low and outside, slips through there. Again, he's got nowhere, and he can't throw this downfield when he does find space because, of course, the linemen are downfield on the run play. So, again, not able to throw it, so having to take a big loss. This is where now you're going outside of your comfort zone of your offense, looking to go to the air.
2nd and 20. Need to get it all the way to the 26. They're at the 46. Cox boots out to the left, throws on the run, has a receiver, ball's out and out of bounds. You're going to call it a completion and a fumble out of bounds. They are. Gain of 4. That was Spencer Banks. Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think that was a good call. Fortunate for Notre Dame, it went out of bounds because they wouldn't have had the advantage of take this punt, but it was a catch. Good contact on the tackle to get the ball out. This is Notre Dame's opportunity to find a way. 3rd and 17.
Beneke with the stop. 16. Low punt angle towards the sideline. And so overall, you know, that
really, that drive played into the hands of Ernest Manning.
Yeah.
And one took time off the clock, but then they ended up getting the stop and gave them no points. So decent field position to start just outside their 20. Now Ernest Manning has an opportunity to see what kind of time they can get. And I know we're into the third quarter, but it seems like, a long drive by Ernest Manning to get some points here could put this one away just with the lack of ability of Notre Dame's offense to get things going consistently and finish drives.
long pass towards the boundary, in and out of the hands of Charon. If this Notre Dame defense can get a quick stop, that long drive won't be all for nothing, as it did flip the field.
Wow, and Ernest Manning needs to catch the ball. I know it's a tough night, but your job is to catch it, and we've had now 3, I think, drops just right into the hands or through the hands of receivers. They've got to execute. They don't want to get a quick 2 and out here and then give the ball back to Notre Dame, because they are deep in their end, and Notre Dame did find some running room on that last drive.
5 receivers out to the left. That usually is to set up a screen. How did that not get tipped? It's caught by Heaton Yip, but just no running room. Notre Dame all over it.
Again, the ball took some time to get out there. We'll take a look here. Again, he kind of bobbles it a little bit, so that just takes a little extra time. He had some pressure in his face, but great job by the defense there to get into the backfield and get on him. That ball almost comes out a little bit late there, but almost a chance they needed. But hey, the stop comes for Notre Dame. They're going to get this ball back, theoretically in great field position. You never know with Ernest Manning, that special team coordinator needs a pay raise next year, because he is earning whatever he's getting paid this year, which is probably nothing, because most of them are all volunteers. He's doing a great job with his special teams units in every different aspect of this game.
See what they have drawn up here. Charon, the punter.
Actually
he will let this one go. I don't think there was any onside players either. This one bouncing back towards Ernest Manning. They'll say they were just within those 5 yards. We'll get a better look on the replay, but this one's going to come to the 35, just a 5-yard penalty if it hits the ground.
I disagree with the crowd, and I agree with the officials. He was inside of 5 yards. We'll take a look here. We get a pause. You didn't be able to pause that? As soon as he touches it, we can measure out the yards and let them know.
Try.
Right there.
Let's stop.
There we go,
Stop.
there we go.
Ah, it didn't work. Oh, there we go. Now it did.
Oh, we got
that
it.
was my
He
fear.
definitely was inside of 5 yards. We'll send a little airplane note down to the fans and let them know it's the right call. Oh, he just called it off after we made the decision.
Oh, man.
After we had the slow-mo, we measured it out.
I tried to pause it even.
They called off the no yards. I think I agree with the first official who threw the flag, but
The telestrator struggling in the cold a little bit.
only would have been 5 yards. Here goes Notre Dame.
Run, Iogan. We got a flag. Don't think this run's going to stand either way.
And this is exactly what Notre Dame doesn't want, is to go long down in distances. If this is holding, this is going to hurt the opportunity here.
It is holding. It'll be a 1st and 20.
10-yard.
Lost our ref mic. Let's get another look, see if we can see where this thing happened. Too many bodies.
I think it may have been on 50. I think 50 was on the wrong side of the guy he was trying to block, and he wasn't letting go.
Ball comes out to the 50. We only got 2:24 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Quick pass out into the flats. They're able to find Wyatt Connor. Not a bad pickup here on 1st down, 7 or 8.
There's a flag in the secondary.
Now, a lot of those are automatic 1st downs. There's a few different things it could be. This is interesting.
And they kind of ran like double flats, and they threw it to the guy in behind so the guy in the front could block, but he definitely had a reception before the blocking happened.
82 white.
It's against Notre Dame. Was that an illegal man downfield there against Dragonovich? Keep an eye on someone. Not sure what that call is, to be honest with you. It was on 82. He's at the 35 there, so I don't know. Looks like they're
I didn't
letting
see it there. I didn't catch it on camera, but
might have got the wrong number too. He's kind
but
of
it's interesting because I think they may have declined it.
They did.
Because the gain was so little.
2nd and 13, 90 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Lots of time coming off the clock. Brown on the run. Nowhere. No room. Again, Griffins' defensive line making another stand.
You know, I think this front 7, including the line, I think is really making a good case for MVP of this game. I know they usually give it to an offensive player, but I tell you, this defense has really set the tone and just controlled Notre Dame for the course of this game. Can they do it again? They are in a punt situation. Interesting here, again, with still time on the clock, but it is starting to tick away pretty fast.
Like Cole Meller got the stop there. Bounces inside the 10, right into the arms of Charon. Makes one miss into open field, out just past the 25. Bit of a better punt that time, but the return gives the Griffins possession at their own 25.
So again, a little miscommunication. We got a favorable bounce for Ernest Manning, and then what a return from the 5 to get out to the 25. That's a nice return considering it did bounce on the ground. The cover team was down there. Did an outstanding job getting that out of the shadows of the goalpost there. So Ernest Manning getting a little more breathing room here on this drive to get it going.
Harrison Heineman, who's been dealing with injuries all year long, he'll hand it off this time. It's number 22 again for the Griffins. Zone. They're running the football so effectively right now into the 14-point lead. If you can do that, they're going to be champions by the end of the day. A long way to go still.
Yeah, you can see again, well downfield before there's any contact. Good patience in the backfield as he finds the hole. But again, just an explosive as he breaks out of kind of the box play there and just gets some extra yards. So great first down for Ernest Manning as they look to wind all the clock off they can.
Another run play. This one going nowhere. I want to finish up that note on Harrison Heineman before we throw to break here. He broke his collarbone on the very first play on an exhibition game against Salisbury back on August 29th. Didn't return to the playoffs this year. Well, it looks good today, Rob.
Looks very good today.
He's got the Ernest Manning Griffins out to a 14-0 lead. Griffins might be 12 minutes away from a championship. They still got some work to do.
Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
As we come back to the Johnny Bright Bowl, I want to take a moment here. It's been such an excellent weekend once again, and another great provincial weekend. I want to take a moment to thank all of the volunteers and all the staff that have been working this event here this weekend. Obviously, start with all the volunteers that are doing everything around the field, helping get stuff set up, the officiating crews throughout the weekend, all the parents that have help their kids out here, bus drivers, there's so much, sponsors, our camera crew here at IC Live. We get the easy job, we get the glory until I screw up, then everyone's on me, but the crew makes it an easy job on us for sure, gets us great look at the replays. Probably missing a bunch here. Obviously the sponsors, the money coming into this can make these events happen. You see the sideline signs, there's been a lot of them this year. And also to the people, the organizers who made this event happen. We weren't sure at times that this one was going to happen when the teacher strike was going on. Had a kind of preliminary plan put out that I seen, and it really came down to the wire on this thing happening at all. But able to organize the provincials, got a bunch of teams into playoffs, and especially for the grade 12s, gave them a chance to end their high school careers on a high, win or loss. Ernest Manning takes over the ball at the 45. Heineman throws it down the field. It's caught by Heaton Yip. Big first down conversion on 2nd and 10, a gain of 16.
Well, you talk about a lot of provincials happening, so not only is football this weekend, but volleyball all over the province is also happening for all the school sports. And as you mentioned, School Sport Alberta, the new ASAA rebranded this year. Of course, they've put in a ton of work and had plan A, B, C, and D coming out of the teacher strike to find out, hey, whenever they come back, we're going to have a plan and we're going to do everything in our power to have provincials for all these athletes this fall. So hats off to them for making it work for all of those athletes that are competing this weekend.
Football Alberta always a big part of these events as well. Here's a handoff up the middle, lots of running room. There's a flag in the secondary, sewn after a pickup of 17. We'll see if it stands.
Well, it looked like it was holding possibly with the receiver downfield, and we'll see here if it ends up being before or after the yards gains. Hard to see, maybe not. Maybe not. No, I think they're moving it up, so I think it's actually maybe against Notre Dame. It is. They're walking it that direction.
Face mask. This is going to go a long ways after the play.
dare say it, yesterday's game, 6-9 aside, 2-score game, still within reach. You make this a 3-score game, I think Ernest Manning is going to be able to sit on this one for the last quarter. But great execution there, and then aided by the penalty, getting them deep into the end.
Handoff. Short run up the middle. Looked like Didominicus getting another touch. Under 11 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter. Got to say, I'm kind of looking across the street. We are right in the middle of a community here. Got to say, I've never commentated football games up until this weekend with a bit of Christmas lights in the backdrop. Here's another run inside the 10. You mentioned, Rob, this might be the last football game in Canada this year. They're just not going down to the 1.
Yeah, you can tell Ernest Manning is just feeling it. They're so close. They can taste the victory here, and this drive being an important one to possibly go up 3 scores. You can see where contact happens. So first contact at the 10-yard line. So it starts at the 8, and then the scrum takes it another 6-7 yards. He said where they get down to about the 2.5, 3-yard line. So outstanding job by just everybody. Feeling how close they are for this championship. They can finish this drive here.
Looks like they put the ball down at the 2. Quick throw into the flats to Charon. Was he into the end zone? Ernest Manning thinks so. Notre Dame disagrees, and the refs will side with white and gold.
Well, interesting because the official right on the sideline is not on the goal line, so it's hard for him. Again, he's pretty close, but if he gets that one more step up, he can see. But on the spot, calls them short, so they mark it back at the 1.
This could end it. 9 minutes left to go, still a lot of time. Direct snap, another Wildcat type of play, and the Pride are not going down without a fight. Now a field goal would make it a 3-possession game for the Pride, almost with this much time on the clock, as effective as a touchdown, but the angle will be tough this close to the goal line. Looks like the kicking team is coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I would have kicked the field goal on their last drive that they weren't able to finish. So I would definitely be kicking the field goal, and because they missed on the last one, didn't have the they threw it to the end zone, incomplete pass, turned the ball over, then Notre Dame drove it out of their end. Didn't finish their drive, but now Ernest Manning again down in scoring field position, take some points, see if they can get this to 3 scores.
This will be a 10-yard kick, even closer than an extra point, but this one from the left hash is at a pretty extreme angle here. So the kick is up, and it's good. 17-0. It's a 3-possession game for the Griffins. Pride sticking around. Is that just too much? Get another look at the kick. See the angle on it here too, Rob. Pretty much, I mean, that's maybe even more than 45 degrees.
No, it's a good job, good execution on the entire team. Protection, snap, hold. Because a snap is nothing given on a night like tonight. We've seen a lot of snaps, and catching the snaps go awry and costing Notre Dame, obviously, the touchdown on the turnover deep in their end, and cost them on a few drives. They took some big losses because of the snaps. So, and even in the earlier games today, it was still one of the harder things to do. Simple, but hard to execute on a day like today.
Pride do start with the ball on their own 35. Need a touchdown on this drive. Cox going to go to the air. He hasn't done it much today, but he's been okay when he's had to. Tucks it and runs, trying to find some room down that left side.
Ernest Manning.
It's a turnover. It's a turnover. They took the ball right from Cox. The Griffins have it. Still fighting for it. Cox says he still has it, but he's not going to win this argument.
He ripped it out clean, and he definitely had it, and then everyone goes down in a pile. That was an outstanding job, just absolutely willing that ball out of there. Take a look right here. Grabs it, spins, pulls it right out. He says, "Thank you very much." and then he tries to go get it back from him. So then the battle goes all the way to the ground. But, I mean, just another amazing play by the defense to just take the ball away and not give Notre Dame any chance to try to get back into this one.
Looked like Cole McInnes. He's had a big impact on this game. Only reason we haven't called his name a bunch is because we're having some trouble telling the numbers apart. Harrison Heineman back to pass again, looking for the dagger. Will it be with the legs? Plants his foot across the first down marker and pushed out of bounds at the Pride 24.
There's a light push and a little bit of a fall, so.
Yeah, I don't think this is a penalty.
No,
here.
this is definitely not a penalty. He was right at the sideline, and it wasn't a hard push. Again, in these conditions, ends up going to the ground. Yeah, he pushed him before he was out of bounds. That's the way it goes. And I know the crowd's not liking it. They want every ounce.
Oh, this one is coming back. Hold on a second. It's a holding.
Ernest Manning, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
The parents and crowd are staying in it. That's for sure. You know,
they are.
I'll say this. I like being up here. We're above it. We can't hear all the specifics being thrown at the refs.
You listen to enough, you get to laugh at it. We can talk about them. They have no idea until they get home and rewatch this.
We get to look at the replays. Yeah, I tell you this though, and I know because I have people I know who would have been a part of that crowd if I was playing. Okay, so I'll put it this way: they're going to go home, look at the replay, see it clear as day, and they're not going to care. They'll still complain. Deep shot down the sidelines. That almost could have been a flag on the Griffins as well on an offensive pass interference. Looked like he had a hand on the defensive back.
Yeah, just taking that shot, see if they can get another score. Again, just beautifully thrown ball outside shoulder. That's what you want. Just a little bit too outside. And again, that's where your receiver, you want him to adjust a little bit earlier. And that's, you talk about the tracking skills that translate from baseball. I've had the opportunity to coach a couple guys playing football that have that tracking skill from baseball. And it is true, just understanding the flight trajectory of a ball, how far it's going to go, and be able to do that. And as a receiver, you need to be able to do that. Because if you wait too long to adjust like he did there, he can't make up the ground to the outside. If he sees that a little bit earlier, and maybe he's able to adjust and try to reel that one in.
2nd and 20. Heineman is going to throw it away. It's a play, I think, for Heineman. He saves some yards, but might have rather had your quarterback go down there to keep the clock running. Never a bad idea, though.
Outside, at 7 minutes, that clock will wind once they spot the ball. So at this point in time, yeah, just get it. You don't want to take a loss. Smart play.
Receiver in the area as well.
Get done with that. So once they change there, they wind the clock. So, of course, as we get a little bit closer to the end, it may stop. But on that play, they get to wind still. So 2 guys standing on side at this point. Sometimes they stay back there. Sometimes they motion up, as we see them doing here. Extra protection. Want to make sure this punt just get off. You want to get this punt kicked. You want to get blocked. And Notre Dame looking like they're excited to come. They come after this one.
It's going to be pulled down. I don't know if that was a design fake or if Charon just felt the pressure. It'll be a stop for the Pride. They will get the ball back in Griffin's territory. Maybe they're still alive here. They would need a touchdown and an onside kick.
I think he sees them coming. I just don't think that's the right decision to run up the middle. I mean, there was still congestion up the middle. Just get it down, kick it away, get 15, 20, 30 yards on that, and then just allow your defense to defend a little bit of a longer field. But is that the turning point that Notre Dame needed to see if they can try to muster some points here and get back into this one?
4 receivers. Cox down the field. Too much on it. It's intercepted. Lewis. Is that finally the one to seal it for the Griffins?
The few times that Notre Dame has gotten a break in some capacity, Ernest Manning, someone has just stepped up and made a huge play. So again, just trying to make a play. At this point in time of the game, you're trying to get it downfield, but the secondary thinking the same thing. I'm going to be in a great position. I'm dropping, keeping everything underneath. He just comes up, secures that catch. The receivers need to catch just like that. They get Ernest Manning going a little bit more.
They'll take it on their own 52. Would take a miracle at this point for Notre Dame. Quick pitch and catch. That's Timmins. First down. Usually the time where you put the ball on the ground, keep the clock running, but The Griffins have confidence in their quarterback. They want to finish this thing the way they got here, through the air with Harrison Heineman.
Well, I've been on Timmins a little bit today because he's dropped a couple, but again, this one, look at his hand catch. And that's what we were talking about. Use your hands, even on a cold night. Use your hands, trust in him. He's put in work as a receiver to catch the ball well. We know he can do that, so now he's just got to believe in it, and that's where he just used his hands, made the catch, got the first down. Outstanding execution by the young receiver.
Hand off, this is zone. That pile once again moving forward towards the sticks. It feels like as this game's going on, where the Pride were maybe pushing Ernest Manning back earlier, the Griffins are just all over him now. There's no stopping them.
They're feeling the energy where Notre Dame is like, they're not giving up, but you just know the energy is not there. The cold sets in. You feel bad. Every contact play, you start to feel those things more. With 5 minutes and running, and you don't have the ball in your hands, after you got a turnover on the punt, now they're just beat up. It's a tough season, and it's a long haul.
Heineman play action into the flats. Timmins over the shoulder catch. Talk about the baseball catches. There was one of them over the shoulder. 1st and 10. He did go out of bounds.
A nice delivery, leading him out to the flat. And again, they only needed a couple yards, so a little play action, get him in the flat, get him the first down. See him tossing him into the bench, but it's a bench you're okay to be in. It's not a loud bench anymore. Down 17-0, and that clock winding. It's only a matter of time now as Ernest Manning continues this drive to just eat that clock up.
Zone gets through everybody. Icing on the cake for the Griffins. Touchdown. They went into the semifinals as underdogs. No one told the Griffins. Domination here in the provincial final.
You can just see the fatigue setting in. I mean, Ernest Manning has moved the ball both in the first and second half. Obviously now leaning on the run game a little bit more, and they finally sprung one. That's what Notre Dame came in trying to do. Pound the ball, spring a couple runs. They just haven't had the space. That defense for Ernest Manning has just been all over Notre Dame and given them no chance to score in this one.
.405 left to go in this football game. The extra point, tack on another for the Griffins, 24-0. Now there's another look at the touchdown for Zone. Now,
well, the good news is it's still a 3-score game.
Yeah.
If you want to look at the silver lining for Notre Dame, but I have a feeling Notre Dame is just, they don't have an answer. They don't have an answer. They're unsure how they can get their offense going. And you know, an outstanding team, obviously, working through the regular season, having to overcome a month off and then regroup for playoff and making a great run to the finals here. You know, a great program with a lot of tradition, some championships there in the past. But just Ernest Manning on all aspects of the game. I think that's the biggest thing that stands out for me today is defense has done an outstanding job posting a 0 against a very strong Notre Dame offense. Special teams has contributed, and of course, the offense has put the ball in the end zone when they've needed to.
We'll do that kind of free kick soccer thing again. This one is pounded into the end zone. They're going to try to return it out. They need to the 10. A single would have effectively ended this game right now. That would have made it a 4-score game.
That would have, yeah. You're right. That would have made it a 4-score game. So now they are scrimmaging from their 8 or 9 yard line.
On a
different rule.
Missed field goal or punt, you can bring it out to the end zone. It comes out to the 20. On a kickoff, you don't get that benefit anymore.
That's right. You have to return this, so out you come. So Notre Dame back on offense. Will this be the drive? They can get some points and just finish on a higher note.
Now you're an offensive guy. Is that ball out again. A lot of guys diving towards it, or is Brown?
Oh, and
it is Griffin's ball. Ernest Manning forces another turnover late in this football game.
Oh, and that was around the feet. Look at it just bouncing around at everybody's feet, through his legs. There you go. It's hard to corral that with the ice and the snow. But again, Ernest Manning is on it, and I mean, the icing's already on the cake. Are we putting candles and lighting them for this celebration, or what? This is, I mean, at the point you start to feel bad for Notre Dame. It's like they get a turnover, they throw a pick, they get the ball back and another turnover, and they're just, nothing's gone their way. It's one of those days, and you know what? That's the nature of football. Sometimes it just doesn't go your way, and today Ernest Manning has executed almost to perfection in all phases of this game, and Notre Dame has just unfortunately been on the opposite side of the field of Ernest Manning, who's owned the field here tonight.
They're going to throw again to the end zone. Touchdown! Perfect pitch and catch. Heinemann to Sladek. This thing's over.
Do I understand it's a blowout now? I mean, it's one thing to beat another team from around the province. It's something special when you're playing against someone you see, and you see every year in Calgary. So 2 Calgary teams going at it, and both teams insisting they finish. And in a championship game, you need to finish and you need to execute, and you just play.
Run up the score. It doesn't matter anymore, right? You need to finish a provincial championship.
I don't think they're running up the score. They're just executing,
wrong term.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
You keep
right?
playing. You
don't stop ever.
And that's usually where guys get hurt in a game. Is like, okay, well, if we're going to go easy on it, then that's not going to be football. So you got to be careful with that. So again, I don't think they're running up the score. They ran the ball on the last drive. They end up getting you still execute, you still run, and you score a touchdown.
Got a bit of a delay here. Ref was explaining something, but we lost the mic, so got a bit of a delay here. Now they'll whistle it in, so an extra point to make it a 31-0 game. I was going to make this point, and then they forced another fumble, but we'll wait till after the extra point. But it's
start looking into the record books now for point margin of win. Is Ernest Manning going to actually break some of those records? I'm sure they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about
they just
execute the next play and do what you need to do.
Just want that trophy in their hands at this point. But so there is something still on the line. There's 12 guys on the defensive side of the ball and some guys subbing in, so more than 12. And a defensive coordinator, defensive coaches. There's a 0 up on the board right now, and a little extra pride in a game like this as we get another look at the touchdown from Sladek.
A little extra pride in the game. You sure you wanted to go there with that pun there?
I didn't even mean it. You're putting me on the spot now, but
the extra pride, Notre Dame. There you go. Well, the crosstown rivalry,
unintentional.
And, many of these players have likely played together on different provincial teams. Because I know the provincial teams and even some of the national teams are getting these players because they are quality. I know Notre Dame has a number of them playing at that level. It just wasn't their night tonight, and you're right. There is. You want to execute, you want to finish, and then both of these teams have grade 11s and grade 10s that are here that are learning from this experience to gain the experience for future years. So Ernest Manning getting set to kick it off again. All special teams for Ernest Manning is eventful. Been excited about special teams tonight and how they've executed in different facets of that element of the game. Of course, along with both sides of the ball.
And this has been one of the big differences in this game. You can argue it's special teams has made as much of a defense as anything. So another deep kickoff here is going to be taken just outside the 20 by Ioga. Up the middle, there's a small seam. He gets stood up by Jackson Gagnon. What a hit.
Yeah, that was a solid hit. And again, it seemed like the returner had the momentum, but he just ran into a wall right there. And I'm sure it's a cold back returning again. Just that's what you want from your returners to come flying in there, but he just got stood up there, stood his ground and made the tackle. So Notre Dame with a few minutes left to see if they can get some things going.
Hand off. A hurdle by Brown. There is a ton going on away from the play as well. Every parent looks there after both players are down and just thinks their guy got thrown down. Probably not the case.
Got to make sure the parents stay separated here down below. Getting excited. I mean, hey, great athletic play. You know, look at this run here again, just absolutely right over top.
Lands it clean too.
It really just speaks to the athleticism he has. But again, they've just bottled that up tonight, and he hasn't gotten loose.
Cox drops back to pass. Looking down the right side, that's Brown through the air, just boxing out his defender like he's a big man in basketball. Pick up out to the 38.
It looked like he ran the wheel. We'll take a look here. Yeah, he's coming out of the backfield, and again, kind of runs a little bit of a wheel there. And again, he kind of throws it on a rope, and then Brown just adjusts to the inside there. Doesn't get as wide as he typically would. A little outside seam there, but just put it on him. Nice catch to get into plus territory.
2:12 to go. Notre Dame trying to break this shutout. Cox flushed out of the pocket right, has some running room in front, tucks it, and will get out of bounds right in that Ernest Manning bench. Might hear it a little bit from the opposing team, might not, don't know.
I love the two red dots over at the Ernest Manning bench. Someone's got electric gloves by the looks of it. I'm like, it's
like
you got all the
Iron Man
dark,
out there.
like you got these red beams just staring at us from the far side of the field, and just waiting for the celebration. That bench is.
You got a flag on the play on a 2nd and 4. This one is going to march the offense back a little more.
I think I see the matching gloves down here on the Ernest Manning sideline on a few of the fans. So someone's shopping at the same place, getting those gloves. Maybe we got to look into where they got those and get those heated gloves for us all day. You know,
if they're heated,
I'm sure
we
they
could
are.
probably use those next year. Just saying.
Yeah.
2nd and 9. Cox. Pocket starting to break down, gets rid of it in time, and kind of had to throw it away there. His throw was a little hurried, so that'll bring up 3rd and long. Now, Rob, clearly, Notre Dame isn't going to win this game, but a big accomplishment in general for them to get here, and not the result they wanted, down by 31, but they'll continue to fight.
Yeah, for sure. And if you actually look down their roster, they do have a number of 12s, but again, there's lots of 11s and lots of 10s, and they're building year after year. It's a solid program, great coaching down there at Notre Dame and Ernest Manning. And again, they're just preparing for next year and want to finish strong for those guys who may be playing their last high school game. Of course, we've got the Senior Bowl, which is the all-star game for all high school players around Alberta. That will take place at Christmas time.
Yeah, early January.
Yeah, right after the Christmas break, or at the end of the Christmas break. And I remember a number of years ago when Notre Dame was on their run of multiple championships in a row, I actually had the opportunity to coach in the Senior Bowl and coached a number of the kids from the north against Notre Dame, and Notre Dame had some dominant players in that game, to say the least. So they always produce lots of players that the college scouts are out watching. They've been here today. We've seen the university sports, the junior programs out here, watching the talent from around Alberta, and Notre Dame has always been one of those that produce. And of course, Ernest Manning, everything has been on display for those group of young men looking to play at the next level come next year.
Ernest Manning can run out the clock with a couple first downs, but Notre Dame still just not going down. Jeffrey Ogbowe, the defensive lineman in grade 12, playing in his last high school game today, got the tackle for loss.
Well, they're definitely not going away anytime soon.
It's one of those things, we talked about it earlier today in the first game, where, even in a game with a little bit of a differential like this one, it's 31-0, but you don't want to go home. This is it. This is your last high school game if you're grade 12 for this. This is it. You don't want to go home thinking, I could have done more, I could have made that tackle, I could have hustled a little harder. And I think you're seeing that right now from Notre Dame. They are hustling. That was Lucas Scott. He was one of the two players in on that tackle. Looked like maybe Oreguam and Ogbowe were in once again as well.
Again, great fill in the hole there, just stepping up into the hole as it gets created. That's great linebacker play. Just a little too late today, this one. I'm sure the special teams coaches said, hey, punt this away. Don't take any risks. Just kick this one away. Let's go.
Actually,
you don't need to make a play. You just let's punt it away, make it a long field. Of course, their defense wants to see if they can keep this 0 on the board. That's something that's special. It's hard to do in football. This getting a great bounce for Ernest Manning and great coverage by their gunners.
that was
out there split out.
on that last stop. It was Michael Lulohaya, and then the punt there, maybe the best one of the day for Sharon. A little more icing on the cake. Pressure, still got the good boot away. Pride take it in their own territory at the 46. Maybe one last chance to break the shutout. Brown trying to get to the edge. Now he'll turn his shoulder pads back up the middle, out to the 53.
Probably gets 2 more runs. I don't think they're in a hurry, but they are getting to the line. So you get 3 or 4 more plays in here. This one winds down.
Iogun over midfield, makes one miss, steps through another. He gets to the edge across the 30. Iogun, oh, it's a foot race, and what closing speed there by Cam Stahl. Good run though, out to the 16. I think that's their longest of the day.
Well, still got to play for that shutout, so we got 1, maybe 2 plays, probably 2. Could even get 3 in if you're quick, but that's obviously a run that is trying to strip that ball out. And, like you said, the 12 guys on defense want to keep that 0 there, so I don't know. If you're Notre Dame in that crosstown rivalry, do you kick the single to get the 0 off the board? Do you know, I mean, there's always something to play for.
Timeout taken by Notre Dame.
So you can probably get 3 plays in. I would say 3 would be probably the most you would get in. Possibly only 2 depending on how long it takes. And if I'm them, I'm probably taking 3 shots at the end zone. But again, you got to release the ball quickly. Again, if you take too long, you may only have 2 shots. But a few shots at the end zone. As you can see, Ernest Manning, linebackers and secondary, a little bit softer, trying to keep everything in front of them, trying not to give up that touchdown. We'll see how it goes here for Notre Dame.
This is a Wildcat formation. Wyatt Connor will tuck it and run, although he can still throw. He'll pump fake one more time. Connor towards the sticks, stays in bounds, tiptoes along the sideline. He's out of bounds. Clock will stop.
And a late flag come in.
Flag. 4.9 left to go in this game. Now, interesting here. It's out of the 1, so even if this is against the Griffins, you can't tack any more on. This can only be negative for Notre Dame.
Oh, blindside block. Yeah. Caught it right there. Number 80 came back, blindside block, so this is going back.
It's against Spencer Banks.
That's a safety call right there. It's an illegal block. It's been illegal for a number of years.
Side block, 80, Notre Dame. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And the rule on a blindside block is if you're coming back towards or parallel to the goal line, if you're coming back to your own goal line, is that exactly what he was doing there? Very dangerous play because usually the guy doesn't see it coming, gets clipped, and it was quite the block there. Back in the day, that was okay to do, but they got that out of the game for the safety of the players. So you can see here, we'll catch it here as 80 comes across the field. Comes back right there, yep. You can see he just clips them good, but you know what? You bounce up from that knowing that you're going to win this football game and take home a provincial championship, and there's nothing Notre Dame can do about it at this point in time. So not a good shot to take, but one that is much easier knowing you got a provincial championship you get to take home and celebrate.
Got another stoppage on the field here. I think I can feel through the headsets of our cameraman and the comms they got going on over there how they feel about this. They got to stick out there in the cold, wait a little longer. As soon as our broadcast is over, we'll get these windows closed and warm everyone up nice and quick. It was a cold day on this Saturday. It was a cold day yesterday as well for the 6-a-side and 9-a-side provincial finals. Not sure if this will be our final play. 4.9 left to go. Ernest Manning wants this to go by quickly.
Well, barring a penalty, I think it will be. See what they go. They're going to the air. Buys himself some time.
Wyatt Connor once again. Clock hits zeros. He's out. Ernest Manning Griffins pitch a shutout. They dominate on offense, 31-0. They are provincial champions.
I love the sliding in the end zone, but if it was me, I'd need a little bit more snow. A little more snow. There's a little too much friction when you're diving on the turf. But excited nonetheless on the south end. There they are to celebrate. Quite a performance. You know, a different type of game that we've seen all weekend. We have some really tight ones, but absolute dominant performance from start to finish by Ernest Manning. They were patient early, but just slowly worked away at Notre Dame. But that defense right from the get-go, so stout on the interior, just not allowing that run game ever to get any momentum and get going. So outstanding job by Ernest Manning in all phases of the game. We've talked about that offense, obviously executing, putting up some points, taking advantage of turnovers on special teams, a number of them for Ernest Manning. But we talked about the coaching, outstanding coaching and preparation of these boys. The game plan executed to perfection in all three phases for Ernest Manning on this cold night here in Edmonton. Those boys are as hot as can be right now, not feeling the cold, just excited to take home this championship. And that makes 2 in 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, right, for Ernest Manning. And
in 2023 against Raymond. They are lining up at midfield here. I don't know if I think the teams want to shake hands, and they will allow them. Sometimes they go straight to line up on the 45s. But, it's a tough one for Notre Dame, right? They get shut out. They lose by 31. But I think that they can take a lot of pride. Like you said, they got a lot of grade 10s, got a lot of grade 11s. There are some graduating grade 12s that they will miss as well that impacted the game in a big way today. But I think it's a team that can take a lot of pride in making it here. They had to go through Raymond. It wasn't easy. And unfortunately, they're the second best this season.
Yeah,
but they made it. They got that extra game.
They did.
Especially in a year where they had a month taken away from their season. They got to play a little longer. The grade 12s got one more game to prep for. That one last week as a team, one last road trip. And they come out to the Johnny Bright Bowl and they give it their all.
Yeah, and I'll highlight some of the players on both sides. Chris Cox, 6 for 11, 67 yards, just the one interception. Harrison Hyman, 11 for 19 in the end, 103 yards and 2 touchdowns. Of course, both teams looking like one wanted to go on the ground, one in the air, but both got it done a little bit more on the ground. The leading rusher in the game, Andrew Sohn, 10 carries, 109 yards.
He broke a lot of long ones off in the second half.
And then Brown, 16 for 99 yards. Justin Iogun for 8 carries, 68 yards. Diego chipping in with 8 for 43. So lots of guys chipping in and both leaning on that run game to bust one or two here and there. On the receiving end, again, a little less busy today, but Sladek ended up with 6 targets, 3 receptions, 47 yards, and a touchdown. And Charon pitching in with the other touchdown on 35 yards. And on the other side, as they threw the ball a little bit more as the game went on, Wyatt Connor, 3 catches, 30 yards, and Serrani Brown, 2 catches for 26 yards. So again, controlled by Ernest Manning for the most part. Yes, Notre Dame did get some drives going, but in the end, they couldn't finish any of those drives. And, well, hats off to that defense. Posting a 0 in a championship game against a team as good as Notre Dame is a special accomplishment. Not any more special or less special than a championship, and that's ultimately what they came here to do. They didn't know the script. We didn't know the script at the beginning of this game, but a dominant performance, one for the ages for Ernest Manning.
As we mentioned a couple years ago in Red Deer, Ernest Manning winning a dramatic provincial final over Raymond. This one a little less dramatic. It was all Griffins, all game. Garth Melrose and his staff put together a clinic today. Talk about all those special teams plays, the fakes early on. They kept drives alive, pitched in a big way to their touchdown drive. The second touchdown from a special teams play as well. A fumble at the 10-yard line on a punt play for Notre Dame gave the Griffins great field position. They capitalized with a touchdown, and right there, that was all they needed early. They tacked on a lot more after that, 17 more to put this thing out of reach. I think something that might get lost in this game is how well Notre Dame's defense played for a long time. They kept their team in it. It was a two-possession game. We talk about that second touchdown scored on a short field, and they were in it at halftime. They were in it early on in the third quarter. But, you know, when a team keeps controlling the ball, like Ernest Manning did for 27 minutes and 40 seconds in the end of this game, it can really wear on a defense. And in the end, Griffins win in a big way. Now,
I think as you talk through that, and I think about the game, I think if I was going to name a turning point, I don't know, the IC Live turning point of this one was I think it was that muffed punt and then the turnover, which allowed them to get the 14-point lead.
5A provincial final. It is the main event. Large schools doing battle. When you think about this season as a whole, Rob, there's so much that went wrong this year with that month delay due to the teacher strike. That was a situation that had nothing to do with football, but unfortunately they had to deal with the consequences on the gridiron. They couldn't practice, they couldn't play, and there was a lot of time taken away. And in the end, for the Griffins, they probably don't mind too much, because them with the plaque, trophy, the banner, this is going to be the lasting image of the football season in Calgary football, in Alberta football, and one that the Griffins are going to remember for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and there they are enjoying that. It's quite the plaque there that they get to take home, celebrating this championship. And you know, when they jumped out to that 2-score lead, I think that was the point where it was kind of, not only did they get the points, but they started to say to Notre Dame, hey, you're going to need to find another way to get this done, and you no longer can lean on that run game. They did try to come out in the second half, but again, they had the turnover, had the long field. They had that one drive to their first drive of the half. They did get out of their own end, but just unable to finish, just not consistent enough, wasn't able to break the run that they needed. You know, we saw obviously Ernest Manning eventually got that done and broke a couple runs in that one. But, you know, once you get a running team out of their main game and ball control, you know, slow things down, they got them out of that. And then it was just all but the finishing touches on this outstanding performance by Ernest Manning.
So much excitement down on the field for the Griffins. Now, wanted to save this conversation for the post-game because I think it deserves a little bit of context as we come up to the booth here. A lot of talk throughout the year about Harry Ainley and Raymond and the number one team in Harry Ainley. I don't think there was too much debate necessarily coming into provincials that Harry Ainley was the favorite. They are an amazing football school in Edmonton. Raymond, a football powerhouse down south. But Notre Dame, well, they beat Raymond. And Ernest Manning, they beat Notre Dame. Ernest Manning was ranked number 4, but with a win like today's, dominant fashion, and an overtime win against Harry Ainley, they're not number 4. They're number 1. There's no argument about it. The Ernest Manning Griffins are the best high school football team in Alberta.
Well, and you look at their schedules, and you date it back to kind of in the summer when they started playing. And again, most of these teams, the top 5A teams, will pick big 5A schools to play against. And so maybe you lose a game early as you're getting ready. I mean, Harry Ainley often will try to set up a game with someone down south to try to set up, a good high-level competitive game earlier on. Because the rankings end up, you end up playing within your division. So Edmonton teams playing Edmonton, Calgary down south, and then, of course, the different teams. Raymond has a different schedule as well, but they want to have a competitive schedule so they can get a decent seed and put themselves in the best position going into the playoffs. But the reality is they didn't need to execute against those games early because they had that break. So they only had half their season. So your development as a team comes a little bit later and a little bit slower because of that. But those early games that they got in before their kind of regular season started was beneficial, although Ernest Manning lost their quarterback in that early game, so the break got them a chance to get him back. But an outstanding job by them just to execute down the stretch and put a nice little playoff run together, no doubt.
And it's not that it wasn't without some perseverance as well from Ernest Manning. I mean, their leader of the team, their quarterback, number 12, Harrison Heineman, first snap back in August, probably on a much warmer day, breaks his collarbone, and, not back till playoffs. And not only do you have that month-long strike, but you have a quarterback who wasn't able to get the same amount of reps before that strike. So he's coming in, and pretty much his first full game was in playoffs. This is his third full game of the season. And he comes out tonight, he maybe didn't throw for as many yards as we might have expected coming in. I mean, he pieced Terry Ainley up, right? We were expecting coming in, maybe if they're going to win, he's going to throw 300+ yards. But he comes in today, he makes the passes that he needs to. He picks up a couple first downs on the ground as well. And perseverance.
Yeah. And he used his legs to do it. He used his arm to do it. Throw the ball well tonight, considering how cold it is out here. And it is now. The coldest of the weekend is probably right now. Did a good job throwing the ball, getting it downfield, using his legs to scramble and run a little bit, and getting it done for sure. So, that's got to feel good for him. Not knowing after that broken collarbone if he was going to be back at all, and was that going to be his last experience in high school football. But outstanding job persevering, coming through that injury and the other things happening with this season, and really just getting it done finally.
So it was a really fun provincial weekend this weekend. Breton Cougars taking the 6-a-side provincial championship over the J.C. Cherrick Hannah Hawks, 36-16. Wainwright against Bonnyville. Well, that'll win the award for best game of the weekend probably, and there was a really tight 1-point game later. But Wainwright, with 3.3 seconds left, they can run it for a first down. Instead, they throw it into double coverage into the end zone. Why not, when they can get a field goal to tie the game anyways on a must-have-it third down? And, they catch it. It's 28-24. Wainwright, they're provincial champions at the 9-a-side level. The Holy Rosary Raiders, just building upon a dynasty, 26-14. Head coach Vince Oreo and the team from Lloydminster doing it once again. Austin O'Brien, talk about a team that has dealt with adversity every single year. They go up, they play some of the best schools in Edmonton. They're competitive, but they take their lumps when they come into the provincial final. That was a tight one, 15-14 over Holy Trinity with just seconds left. And then obviously the 31-0 win as the Griffins prove themselves as the best here at 5A. Just kind of put some final thoughts on the weekend and everything we've seen here, Rob.
Well, just a fabulous weekend of football. We've done a few of these weekends over the years, and this one is a good one to remember because of the quality of football, the quality of the games. Exciting to watch, exciting to be part of this crew that does an amazing job. All the behind, you and I are in front of the cameras a little bit more, but everything going on behind the scenes. So much work is put in on a cold day, cold weekend like this, but what a show. Great hosts here in Edmonton, and again, another great experience for all the teams. 5 come-away champions, 5 come-away finalists. Still a lot to be proud of and accomplishments throughout the season for these teams. Because a lot of teams that maybe weren't expected originally with the rankings made it to the finals, and they got the job done here. So exciting for all those players, and excited to see these players at the next level from all of these games. There's players that move on to play junior, university sport, and of course, hats off to all the coaches that put in a lot of time for many, many years in some of these programs to keep these programs going for these young men.
I'll tell you what, it was a really cold weekend here at the Johnny Bright Bowl. I don't know if we said that yet, have we?
Yeah.
Probably.
Is it cold
A couple
out there?
times.
Is it cold out there? No.
Yeah, I think you can see my breath coming out right now. So, yeah, I mean, we had camera people coming in and out, rotating in, up on the lift. They probably had the hardest job out of anybody here. So I wanted to send one last thank you out to the crew here from IC Live at the Johnny Bright Bowl. And we know there were some of you that were sticking at home watching all these games. We want to thank you too, whether you tuned in for one, if you're just tuning in right now, or if you've tuned in for all five. We appreciate it so much. From the Johnny Bright Bowl, that'll put an end to the provincial championships. It's capped off with a 31-0 win for the Ernest Manning Griffins.
Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.